Brownsville, Texas, a little Wednesday night football action. Brownsville Veterans Memorial Chargers at home taking on the Nicky Rowe Warriors. Joe Bowling with you. Kevin Narro to my right-hand side. Kevin, it doesn't matter what night it is. We may have football this season. Welcome to 2020 again here at Sam's, a Wednesday night game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a first for me. I was talking with some of the guys here that we've done games on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, never on a Wednesday. So all of us, including the kids on the field, are just a little bit out of routine. But one thing we've seen this year is football being played each day of the week. Even Mondays we've seen football being played. So, yeah, welcome to 2020.
And the good news is that they are playing. And both of these teams are amongst the lucky ones each and every week that get to say game scheduled, game played. Rowe was not scheduled to come here until late in the game. Matter of fact, they moved that game last week. But at least they get to play. And so players, coaches alike are just thankful, first and foremost, they get to suit it up and go against another team.
Right, and one thing, too, that I talked with the coaches before the game is that Nicky Rowe's in a spot where they're going to play 3 games within a span of right around 10 days. So BVM, on the flip side, they just played on Friday here against Brownsville Porter. So it's going to be interesting to see how these coaches manage their kids, and we'll see if there's any kind of fatigue factor. But, you know, that's definitely something new for these kids, playing on the 5th day here for Brownsville Veterans, and the same for McAllen Rowe.
Chargers make their way on the field. Across the way, the Rowe Warriors. Chargers, the home team. And, you know, a lot of question marks coming into this football game about these two teams. Again, not enough football played, Kevin, and not enough coaching opportunities for these coaches to really know what they've got. This is a big opportunity here tonight.
Right, and one thing that I talked about with coaches over this past weekend was we all agreed, and I think Coach Flores and Coach Cantu will agree, that we haven't seen the best Valley football as a whole this year because of not only the pandemic, but you add up the fact that these teams didn't have spring ball. David Gandu's a big spring ball guy. Then you add in the limited offseason, the limited workouts. So the coaches around the Valley, these two coaches, again, they'll be the first to tell you that neither of their teams are where they need to be, kind of like they're still in that glorified preseason mode. And maybe once we get a couple of games into the season, maybe into the postseason, you'll start seeing teams really start to click. Teams
have already made their way on the field. We've had the coin toss earlier on. And so all that's left is to play some football. Conditions, well, it's a nice night tonight at Sam Stadium. A little bit cool as far as for me, but it's a beautiful night for football. Wind blowing out of the what we would call the north end zone, if anything, but it's more of a crosswind. Not sure if it'll affect the passing game or not. Kevin, you were on the field earlier. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's beautiful conditions. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better evening here at Sam Stadium. This time of year, the sun goes down a lot quicker. Otherwise, you and I would be glaring right into the sun. So via the daylight savings, pushing back an hour, you and I are saved, and the sun is now gone, and it's 6:30, and it looks like if it's 8:30.
Welcome to football at Sam Stadium in the comfy confines of Sam Stadium. A deep kickoff returned by the Rowe Warriors. They'll drop it. It rolls back inside the 5. They'll get to the end zone. Now bring it out. Across the 5 to the 10, out to the about the 17-yard line, made the 15-yard line. And a dangerous play there on the opening kickoff.
Right, and here comes this Rowe offense. You know, this team is 0-2, but they've gone toe-to-toe with 2 of the better teams in the Valley. They had a little Sherryland two-step. They took on Pioneer, and they took on Sherryland High, and they're putting up points. You know, and these are 2 teams coming in on the opposite sides of the spectrum, but look for this Rowe Warrior offense to get back on track.
We'll take a look at the quarterback situation. They've got a couple of them. James Gomez lines up to take the first snap on the offensive end. Man in motion goes right to left, and they'll hand it off up the middle. Bouncing it outside the 15 to about the 16-yard line. Short carry, Nicholas Mihan. He got a lot of carries last week, Kevin.
Yeah, he did. He went over the century mark in last week's loss. He really led that backfield. He ran for, I had him at 134 yards rushing, or 136 yards rushing on 23 carries.
Got 3.5 on that. Second down coming up for the Rowe Warriors. Gomez sends a man in motion again. He'll hand it off. Oh, he keeps it on a read. Gets hit in the backfield, and down he goes as the Chargers were all over that play.
Yeah, Angel Barrera came in and made a nice tackle in the backfield. That's going to be a good start for Coach David Cantu's team. And last week they lost 10-7 against their rival Brownsville Porter, a team that's really on the upswing. And just a really frustrating week last week for these Chargers. And that's a way to get this one started.
Frustrating on the end. They're normally scoring a bunch of points when we're watching his football teams. had to be pleased with the limit of points allowed, and we'll see how they react here. 3rd and long. Man in motion right to left is Adam Alvarado. They'll look to throw, swing a pass right-hand side. It's caught, and now yards after the catch by Lorenzo Lopez. He'll be knocked out of bounds short of first down yardage, and a 3-and-out for the Rowe Warriors.
Right, a 3-and-out, and not only are they going to be forcing a punt, but BVM should get good field position. Joshua Silva, the senior DB, he's going to be right at midfield. So good start for Brownsville veterans.
Marked down for just a yard gain, call it 2 on that pass reception. Punting time for the Rowe Warriors, and the Chargers should get terrific field position out of this. They'll wait for the punt. It's a low kick. It takes a bounce for the Warriors out across the 45. Stays in their territory. Now it's a live football as they'll dive on that. And the Rowe Warriors are saying they got it, Kevin.
Oh, that's just a bad break right there.
Okay, we'll take a look at it, see the replay here on the punt. And you can see here as, did someone really touch that ball or not?
Let's look at it.
It did right there. Let's Charger in the mix.
Let's go to the full screen.
Yeah, Chargers were in there, and Kevin, the word is get as far away from the football as you can.
It's Peter.
Get away from the ball, but that wasn't the case.
Well, see, the Chargers, they're going to catch a break there, and that would have been a bad start offensively for the Chargers.
Chargers have it on first down. On a read, quarterback keeps it, bounces at the outside, gets past one defender. Here comes 3 more, and he'll be thrown backwards.
It's Marlon Montelongo, the new quarterback for Brownsville veterans, and with the loss of both the Edge brothers, both Tomas Edge and Lucky Edge, transferring just a couple blocks down the street at St. Joe, that really put Brownsville veterans in a real conundrum, having to replace a guy like Tomas Edge.
Call that a 4-yard gain for the Chargers, the Brownsville veterans, 9:25 and counting here in the first quarter. And they'll look to put something together here on second down. Handoff, sweep right-hand side. Jose Moreno gets near first down yardage. That should be enough for the Chargers to move the chains.
So not only this team was needing to find a quarterback, you throw in the pandemic and the limited offseason with these quarterbacks and what they're able to do offensively. So Sammy Montalvo, the offensive coordinator, he definitely had his work cut out for him in front of him. But yeah, losing a guy like Tomas Edge at quarterback and an athlete like Lucky Edge, who's the team's point guard, it's a big loss for Brownsville veterans, and they're trying to fill those gaps.
Enough for a 6-yard gain. New set of downs for the Chargers. Montelongo on a long count. Play clock down to 10 as he takes a snap. Hands it off up the middle. That's up into the 35, falling forward to the 34. First carry of the night for Angel Ramirez.
One question that we're going to have for this Brownsville veterans team is how can they handle themselves up front along the offensive line? They're not the biggest offensive line. A couple of kids have been moving around. Nathan John, their starting center, he lost 20 pounds over the pandemic just by trying to get back in shape. So they also have a new left tackle there as well. So a little bit of a patchwork offensive line. We'll see how they can hold up here tonight.
Second down and call it 7 for the Chargers. Blitz coming. They'll run away from that. To the left-hand side, getting a block. Montelongo stays on his feet, spins to the 30, bumped out of bounds after that. Short of first down yardage, but again, good blocking, and then Montelongo waiting for those blocks to develop.
So far I like what I see in Montelongo, and that's one thing that I talked with Coach David Cantu about before the football game, was that traditionally he's always had quarterbacks. He had guys like Marcus Castillo. He had guys like Gustavo Vasquez. So there's no shortage of quarterback power here for the Chargers, and right now they're off to a good start.
Second carry of the night for Montelongo, now 9 yards on the ground. Chargers, the Brownsville veterans, trying to take advantage of the short field position on their first possession of the ball game. 8:06 and counting here in the first quarter. They'll hand it off, bounce it left-hand side, and down the sideline with some room across the 20. That's a first down. Then a tackle made out of bounds. 15 more yards coming at the end of this.
Yeah, that should be a late hit there, but again, right now, Brownsville veterans is getting that push. That's something that they haven't had in these first 2 weeks of this season. So if you're Coach David Cantu, you have to like what you see.
Clock stops. The carry, by the way, was by Moreno. Jose Moreno now 2 carries for 18 yards, and there's going to be penalty yards at the end of this. And it's going to be a red zone possession now for the Chargers. Inside the Rowe Warriors 10, down to the 7 after the late hit.
Yeah, so you're going to tack on 15 more yards. And you defensively, you force a 3 and out. You elude what could have been trouble on the punt return, but then now you pick up a couple of first downs. And right now, all this is just giving this team confidence, especially along the offensive line. Alan Garza, again, the new starting left tackle for veterans.
First and goal for the Chargers. Montalongo waits for the deep snap. Twin receivers left and right, takes a snap, hands it off, up the middle, penalty flag on the play. They'll drive forward down to about the 2. Strong carry that time, right up the middle. Chargers just lining up and going right at it on the offensive line.
Yeah, this will be a free play. The outside linebacker on the top of your screen right there, just a little over anxious there. That was Mario Guerra, the junior linebacker. Jumped into the neutral zone there. So, again, I'm a fan of that free play. I like it when the officials let them run out that play.
Even when you don't go with the ball in the end zone, with a running play like that, you get the right surge, you're in the end zone. Remains first and goal. We've got that crowd mic'd up, so we'll pick up those referees from here on. Get accustomed to having to talk when those referees are talking, and I forget here at Sam Stadium, they've got them mic'd up. Terrific job here as we are broadcasting with the assistance of the BISD film crew up here in the booth. First and goal for the Chargers. Call it second and goal. They'll bounce it right-hand side on a carry by Ramirez. He will not get in. And now the Rowe Warriors have a chance to make a big play, Kevin.
Yeah, just a good stop up front. Again, Guerra, one of the first men in there, making up on that last play. Now, you're in a spot here where, are you in 4-down territory? I mean, you're not in a goal-to-goal situation, so you can still pick up a first down.
They didn't score a lot of points last week, and the confidence level alone, you'd like to maybe punch it in. And I would say 4-down territory is a certain reality on this first drive. Montalongo reads, runs right side, going to get hit, and down he goes. Loss on the play as the Rowe Warriors are all over that.
Yeah, that's just a big play from Victor Vega. Really got in there, and let's just get that replay. And that's a big play on 3rd down, and now it's decision time for Coach David Cantu, and
he immediately brings in the field goal unit, but watch the penetration. That's what you want first. And then when the quarterback runs wide and you're not going up and down the field, you're going side to side, good things happen on the defensive end. Spotted down at the 10-yard line, a 20-yard field goal attempt for the Chargers. Kick is a line drive kick, and it sails through and good. 3-0 Chargers on top.
Not a bad drive for Brownsville veterans. You get a 3 and out, you put points up on the board, and that's a good start for Coach David Cantu's Chargers.
See, on the replay, it didn't have much elevation on this kick, but the bottom line is it got through the uprights. 3-0 the score. Kickoff coming up right after this.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Back here on Rio Sports at Sam Stadium. Kickoff time for the Chargers of Brownsville veterans after they take a 3-0 lead on that 20-yard field goal. Kick to the right side of the field. Fielded this time cleanly out across the 20 in a hurry. 25-yard line for the Rowe Warriors and surging out near the 29-yard line. And so that's where the offense will start it up with 6:19 to go here. Get our KBSD TV working on the scoreboard, and we'll just give you the time on the fly. 6:19 to go here in the first quarter. Rowe Warriors offense on the field for a second time. First time out, 5 yards net on the drive. Deep in their own territory, we're forced to punt. Man in motion goes right to left, and they'll hand it off. Back takes it across the 32. Meehan on his second carry of the evening gets a few yards.
Earlier today, we got the news that Port Isabel had to cancel their game against Raymondville. That was the big news of the day. The big bombshell dropped, and just another frustrating situation. PI was exposed to PSJ Southwest, who they shut down earlier today.
Meehan on a carry, gets some yardage, this time on the sweep and down the sideline, left-hand side. This may go to the house. Diego Pacheco is in. Touchdown, Rowe Warriors.
Well, in a blink of an eye, McAllen Rowe gets right back on the board, and that's a big touchdown run from Pacheco. Checking it out right on the instant
on
replay.
the replay. I never saw the handoff. That's a tremendous ball fake. And I don't think the secondary even knew who had the ball until he was in the secondary, already racing down the sideline. That's 61 yards.
And that's a great way to answer for Coach Bobby Flores' squad.
Extra point coming up for the Rowe Warriors. And the kick is good. 7-3, Rowe Warriors. 5:42 left here in the first quarter. Chargers will get the ball after this on Real Sports.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Back here on Real Sports here at Sam Stadium in Brownsville, Texas. That's a gift wrap drive for the offense of the Rowe Warriors. One play, 61 yards. And just like that, Kevin, the Chargers of Brownsville veterans playing catch-up.
Right, and they were able to march down the field, albeit they had a short field, but they were able to do some good things. And again, one thing that we talked about at the beginning of the game was that the question mark along the offensive line. Right now, I think they have some confidence. And if they can keep Montelongo involved in the offense, I think they'll be okay.
Short kick, fielded by an up man inside the 20, out across there to the middle of the field to the 25. Now some room to the 30, 32-yard line on the return for the Chargers. And Marlon Montelongo and the offense will be on the field for a second time. And that's how quick momentum can swing, Kevin. It was first and goal for the Chargers. They were held on 3 downs, had to settle for a field goal, and then a one-play, 61-yard drive later. Now you're on the field, not building on a lead, but trying to get it back.
Yeah, and kudos to McAllen Rowe's defense. Victor Vega made a couple of big plays down there on the goal line. They overcame that late hit penalty. They overcame the approachment penalty, and they were still able to come up with a stop and only give up 3 points.
Single back in the backfield, stands to the left of Montelongo. Trips receiver on the right side. Montelongo will keep it himself. Bounces it to the outside. Thrown back, and down he goes.
Alan Pacheco, one thing that we're seeing defensively from McAllen Rowe is that they're tackling, and they're not allowing any yak yards, which we call yards after catch, and they're doing a good job on first contact from a team that hasn't played in.
There's a penalty against the Rowe Warriors, though, Kevin, and this is going to be a big one, as that'll be a 15-yarder against the Rowe Warriors.
Well, what was the penalty?
Looked like unsportsmanlike.
Well, we'll play the replay here. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary unless I missed something.
Replay on the right-hand side, sponsored by Josh Moody Loans, just one of our new sponsors here on Real Sports. See if we can see something that warrants an unsportsmanlike. How do they throw the quarterback down? I don't know. 15 yards nonetheless. Chargers with the ball from their own 45. Montelongo on a read, keeps it up the middle, got some room. Midfield 45, down to the 40-yard line. That's a 17-yard gain on first down.
Yeah, just a zone read there, and Good decision there from the quarterback. Those plays are designed for the quarterback to make the decision whether they're going to hand it off or keep it themselves. And he just made a perfect read and right up central.
So 17-yard gain. For the Chargers. Montelongo now on first down. Tries to get him to jump off sides. No penalty, so this is a running play. Chargers will get it back across the 35-yard line on a carry by Jose Moreno. 2nd and 8 coming up. That's as close as you come to going off sides without doing it.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked there that they didn't throw the penalty flag, but nonetheless, again, the big emphasis was establishing something on the running game, and so far Brownsville Veterans has done a good job on establishing that.
Better gain than I thought. They give a credit of a 4-yard gain that time to Jose Moreno. And Moreno now in second spot on yards on the ground today. 4 carries, 26 yards. 2nd down and 4 on a read. Montelongo will keep it. Got to the 30, short of first down yardage by about a yard.
You know, that's a good play right there, and just the quarterback Montelongo showing that he has a grasp of not only the offense but what he's looking for, because look how long he holds on to the football, waiting, and then pop. When he sees the linebacker crash on the running back, he's like, aha, I'm going to keep it myself and go.
That's what you want to trust when you tell your quarterback on that read play, is to make the defense commit. Once you see what you need to see, make the decision and get it done. 3rd down and short. Call it a yard to go for the Chargers. Quarterback keeper again. Montelongo will get a first down. Takes it down to the 27-yard line.
Looking at these replays, when can we get the marker and start marking up replays?
I can work on that for you. You really want it.
That'd be cool to start marking the X's and O's.
The other announcers we're training will probably call you crazy for trying to add more stuff to the broadcast, but hey, I'm all in.
Just a little bit, but.
Chargers with a new set of downs. Brownsville Veterans trying to answer the Rowe Warriors score. 2:58 left here in the first quarter. Bouncing it outside is Moreno. Tripped up as he gets down to the 25-yard line. Mark him down short of that.
Rowe was looking for a false start, but I didn't see anything over on that right side of the offensive line. 2 minutes, 41 seconds left in the first quarter. Just keeping tabs on the clock in case you're just tuning in.
Chargers with 62 yards of offense now here in this ball game, compared to the Rowe Warriors 69, but remember 61 of that came on 1 carry, the touchdown run on the last time on the field for the Warriors. 2nd down play. Montelongo rolls out, pressured, now delivers a ball, and nearly intercepted. Incomplete pass, but that was a gift-wrapped pick opportunity for Jason Neal.
Yeah, that's just a bad decision there for Montelongo, and really the first mistake he's made all night, and just try to rush this throw. And check out the replay here. He really just had to stop on the dime, threw into triple coverage.
Fortunate for the Chargers that they didn't turn it over. 3rd down and long for Montelongo. In the passing game, that was their first pass attempt of the evening. Montelongo now drops back. Pressure comes, has to get away from a man. Does, gets rid of a ball up the middle. Picked off on a tip drill by the Rowe Warriors.
Well, you can get away with it one time, but if you keep making those plays at the varsity level, you're going to get picked off, and that's just a tough break.
You'll see here, that's just heavy, heavy pressure. That ricocheted off of 2 players, stayed in play, and the Warriors get the pick.
Geraldo Sosa on the interception. You're seeing it there on the BISD feed, and I don't know, they kind of got away from their bread and butter there. They were running that option run quite well. Just trying to open up their playbook there.
Warriors offense on the field. Mateo Llamas, the quarterback, takes a snap, runs left side, a penalty flag on this one. Looks like a hold. That's what you spotted.
Yeah, it's going to be in the area of a holding. And 2 minutes, 1 second here in the first quarter. Yeah, I really felt like Brownsville Veterans had something going offensively on the ground.
Fans watching on our social media, you can see that is a face mask. So that's bigger than a 10-yard penalty, Kevin. That's going back 15.
Yeah, that's a 15-yard penalty and a face mask going against the offense. It's something you rarely see when it comes to an offensive face mask.
Move the ball back down inside the 12-yard line. 2:01 left here in the first quarter. Yamas, the quarterback, he'll platoon with James Gomez. That's what we saw on the read coming into the night's action. Yamas takes a high snap, hands the ball off quickly. Left-hand side now up the middle. Meehan made a nice cutback. Ends up gaining most of that penalty yards back. Got 13 on the carry.
Yeah, Meehan had himself a ball game last week, rushing over 100 yards, and he was their workhorse. He had 23 carries.
3 carries now for 19 yards here in the first quarter. Stays in the backfield at 2nd and 11, which just sounds a lot better than 1st and 25. Handoff, Meehan again. This time he's hit. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Chase from behind. Just good pursuit from this defensive line from Brownsville veterans. Becerra was the guy who made the play there in the backfield. Now you're facing a 3rd and long defensively for Brownsville veterans. Coach Evans known to dial up a blitz or 2 here in these long situations on 3rd down.
They're coming after him. Quarterback rolls out. Yamas gets away from the pressure, delivers down the sideline, incomplete pass.
There it is. That's just there's that blitz we were talking about. Defensive coordinator Dave Evans, known to dial up a blitz here and there, and that's a big stop defensively for Brownsville veterans. And so far, this game has been a lot of field position.
Chargers took advantage of a short field to march down and kick a field goal. Rowe Warriors scored on their 2nd possession on a 61-yard carry. This time they'll have to punt it away. Better punt this time. Takes a bounce at the 50, takes a roll backwards, stays in Rowe territory, and yet another short field opportunity for the Chargers of Brownsville veterans.
So we were talking earlier, we'll stay on air, and we were talking about the cancellation for Port Isabel and Raymondville. The significance there is 2 things. One, PI played in 1 football game in 2020. They're now done with this being the regular season finale. Secondly, Raymondville plays in 1 game, they win, they're in the playoffs. So they haven't played in over a month, and they now have to get ready for the playoffs, and it's just a crazy deal with what's going on.
Just a crazy year, that's for sure. First down play for the Chargers. Montalongo on the read, hands it off, and down goes Moreno.
That's a beautiful play defensively. Garcia there on the tackle. Let's check that out.
Watch this on the replay.
Yeah, Garcia just, he just blew up that gap. He knew it was coming.
Loss on the play of 4, 2nd down and 14. For Brownsville veterans, Montalongo on 2nd and long, sees a blitz coming up the middle. And here they come. He'll look to throw. They pick it up. He's got a man on a crossing pattern, incomplete, looking for Michael McHale.
McHale, the stud sophomore. As the quarter comes to an end, we'll talk more about McHale on the other side of the break.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez injury attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Back here in Sam Stadium on a Wednesday night, first quarter's history. Rowe Warriors with 83 yards of offense and a 7-3 lead. Lead in both categories there. Brownsville veterans offense, though, Kevin, next time on the field here. They face 3rd and long, but trying to capitalize on a short field.
Yeah, they were able to do it on their last drive, but Garcia, before that quarter end, came up with a big play that put this offense behind the chains.
3rd down and every bit of 14 to go for Marlon Montalongo. Drops straight back to throw. Protection is there. Delivers a ball downfield. Got a man down there. Caught to the 20-yard line. 1st down for the Chargers.
That's just a beautiful pitch and catch there. He hit Brandon Betancourt really just over the middle. And the beautiful thing there is that he had time. If you look at the replay, Montalongo had all the time in the world. It was a beautiful pocket. He just stepped up.
All starts with protection.
That's about as clean a pocket as you can get.
And he led him a little bit more. That may have been 6 points.
Just maybe.
First completion of the night for Montalongo goes for 32 yards. 1st down for the Chargers of Brownsville veterans. And before the snap, a timeout on the field. With that, we'll take a quick break. This is Real Sports.
Apply to the university that offers 98 unique degree plans. The university where 99% of students receive financial assistance. The university where you belong. Apply to Texas A&M University Kingsville today.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Castillo. I invite you to visit San Benito and see for yourself the many things this community has to offer. Our offices of economic development offer a variety of business resources to developers, investors, and business owners from small to large scale. Contact us and let us work together on your next business opportunity.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit.
Back here on the Rio Sports Live at Sam's Stadium in Brownsville, Texas. I see they have the Canes Challenge going on here, so the free box combo is still in effect this year. Or is it? Or is this from last year, Kevin?
I think that's from last year.
Ah, I love that. I love promoting that thing.
2019, yeah.
One of their scoreboard sponsors. First play after the timeout, and that goes nowhere as the Warriors are standing up after the big play.
Yeah, just when Brownsville veterans had a couple of big plays, you're starting to see that defensive line start to make some plays up front.
Montalongo throwing for a loss. So after a 32-yard pass completion, a loss of 4 puts the ball back outside the 20 for Brownsville veterans and the Chargers. Montalongo in a shotgun. Twin receivers either side of the field. Play clock down to 10, but here come the penalty flags.
I think that's going to be a false start on the left guard, Manny Ledema, the young sophomore. You know, he's got a bright future. Coach David Cantu really likes what he sees. The kid's just a sophomore, and he's been thrown right into the fire.
Again, after gaining 32 on a pass play, in consecutive snaps, they've lost 11. The ball back outside the 25 of the Rowe Warriors for Marlon Montalongo and the Chargers. Good snap, drops back to throw. Protection is there, now it collapses. Gets rid of the ball and threw it away. Had to, as in the face was a Rowe Warrior. I hear Garcia that time right there in the mix.
So you're kind of in a spot. It's 3rd and 19. My eyes are not.
Yeah,
very,
3rd and 19.
My
yes,
eyes
sir.
aren't very good, but you can look at it 2 ways. Where you're in 4-down territory, if you can maybe cut this in half and then maybe send your field goal unit out there.
Wind is blowing. I see the flags unfurled back there behind the goalpost. Montalongo faces 3rd down. Shifts Marino to his right-hand side. Play clock down to 8. Drops back. Here comes pressure, and he sets up a screen, and it's caught. Up the middle, though, the Warriors are right there to shut that down.
Yeah, Fernandez was the that's a design screen right there, and Coach Gantu taking door B, electing to cut it in half and send the field goal unit out there. They have some confidence in their special teams.
4th down and every bit of 15 yards to go. Right now it looks like the field goal will be spotted down at the 32-yard line. This is a 42-yard attempt coming up for the Brownsville Chargers, and before the kick, a timeout has to be burned. We'll keep it right here. Chargers have to talk it over. Talk about that Port Isabel team. I was down there visiting with Coach today, Tony V, and he was giving me the Monty Stumbaugh treatment and saying, Joe Bowling, why are you coming to cover us? This team got beat 70-0 last year by Raymondville. Why are you here to cover us? And I'm like, Monty told me that last year, and I just wanted to see what you're building. And that's what he told me last year when he was over at Hidalgo. But, man, Kevin, it's a tough pill to swallow for Port Isabel, who just limited to one game.
Just one game. And, you know, that 4A domino started to fall when Rohondo hit the ejector seat. And then Robstown electing not to be in the south zone, to be in the north zone for whatever reason they chose to. So that really put that 4A district in a really big bind.
Field goal, they'll mark it down at the 30. This is a 40-yard attempt with 9:55 to go in the half for the Chargers. High snap, they get it down, the kick is away, got plenty of leg on it, and it is good from 40 yards out.
They definitely got some confidence in their kicker.
Why not? And look at this. First of all, the holder, Nathan Fernandez, it's not an easy snap to handle, as you'll see this.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a high
snap. He made that
snap.
look easy.
A little bit of
and
a high
that
snap.
had plenty of leg. 40-yard field goal is good. Second field goal for the Chargers. They trail by 1. We'll kick off after this.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez injury attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Apply to the university that offers 98 unique degree plans. The university where 99% of students receive financial assistance. The university where you belong. Apply to Texas.
Back here, kickoff by the Chargers. Line drive kick, bounces inside the 10. This is a live football, got to pick it up. They do. Try to get it to the right side of the field, looking for some room and some blocks. Got a few. Out across the 30, 35, 37-yard line for the Rowe Warriors.
Yeah, that special teams had disaster written all over it, but kudos to the Nicky Rowe special teams. That was actually Mihan.
Mark the ball down right at the 37. Rowe Warriors with 83 yards of offense here in the first half, 9:41 remaining in the second quarter. I saw the bands were at least, well, the band for the Chargers was here. I don't know if they'll get to perform. Starting to take note of how many actually get to perform. Pass play for the Warriors. Over the middle, got the man, it's incomplete. Ooh. That would have been 6.
He threw right behind his wide receiver. He had Gustavo Cruz open, and he beat his man, Joe. So if it's in front of him, he's taking it to the house. That throw just behind his receiver, Cruz. That's a missed opportunity there for McAllen Rowe and a big break.
This is your replay, and watch how open Cruz was on the end of this play.
Yikes.
Oh, he had 6 yards behind the defender.
Yikes. And you can see Cruz's reaction. He knew that he had a touchdown.
Catch that in stride, you're gone. Man in motion for the Warriors. They'll pitch it. That's a fumbled football. And a nice recovery that time by Mihan.
Yeah, he just stuck his hand out. Check this out. Look at Mihan. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. Excuse me there.
It's okay. He palmed that football.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now watch him just reach out with a big palm. Just, whoop, that's mine. Thank you.
It was going to be a jet sweep, and Mihan just Just misjudged the football and was able to get this big old palm out there. And
Third down for the Warriors. 3rd and 10. Looking to throw again as Gomez delivers a ball left-hand side. Caught in stride. That's Adam Alvarado.
what a throw.
36 yards for Adam Alvarado.
That is not an easy play to make. You have a guy right in your face, and he still lays a dime to Adam Alvarado, and he catches that one in stride in a beautiful play. I mean, my goodness. That's got to be the throw of the year for me so far.
Gomez is ready, a man in motion. He'll hand it off. Racing up the middle, Lorenzo Lopez upended, but not before he gains 9, maybe 10 yards on the carry.
You know, it was 3rd and 10, and Evans dialed up the blitz. And for you to keep your poise back there, Gomez knew he was going to get hit. Laid it right into his breadbasket. This is a beautiful play.
First down now for the Warriors. Ball at the 25 of the Chargers. They'll run it with Meehan. Meehan takes on a couple of tacklers. Got inside the 20. That's a good 8-yard carry for Nicholas Meehan.
Meehan and Lopez, that's a 1-2 punch right there. That these running backs got some size, and you know they're looking for contact. They're not looking to run around you, or they're looking for contact. They're looking to run through you.
Warriors with 8 carries, 98 yards on the ground. That's 12.3 yards per carry here in the first half. They'll run it again. Meehan this time gets drugged down. Might have still got close to first down yardage. He only needed a couple.
Well, they got 3rd and 2 up on the board. He picked up 1.
If that's 2, then
they gave him 1.
Yeah, that's the longest 2 or the shortest 2 I've seen all year on a spot. You get inside the 16, you got a first down for the Warriors. Meehan, again, got that and more. Got inside the 10, dives forward to the 6, gained 12.
So McAllen Rowe doing what they want offensively, particularly on the ground game, and Lopez and Meehan.
8 carries for Meehan, and you can see here he's taking that's safeties he's running into down there. 8 carries, 40 yards. That's 5 yards per carry. High snap to Gomez, hands it off again, just to the right-hand side on a jet sweep, and they'll take it into the house. Touchdown for the Warriors.
Diego Pacheco puts McAllen Rowe on the board. It's a big touchdown drive right there, and both these teams, we're seeing them answer each other's scores. Brownsville Veterans able to get a couple field goals, but Rowe was being able to capitalize and punch it in and get 6.
Diego Pacheco has touched the ball twice. Scored both times. Extra point for the Warriors. Away, up high, long, and good. Rowe with a couple of touchdowns. Chargers with a couple of field goals. 14-6 your score. Back after this.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
The Harlingen CISD elementary experience looks something like this. Let's see that again. To learn more about the HCISD elementary experience, visit hcisd.org.
Kickoff is underway. Out across the 15, across the field to the 25, spinning to the 30-yard line for the Brownsville Veterans Chargers. trading field goals for touchdowns right now. Kevin, the Chargers offense on a mission now, has to score some points.
Definitely, back here at Sam's, kind of like old times. Kind of like old times.
Cut your teeth back here, that's for certain on the football broadcasting.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The routine was be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come here Friday night, go to your hotel on the island Friday night, sleep there, come back, do football again on Saturday. Sometimes even double headers.
And fish if you got a chance to.
I always made the time for that.
Running play goes nowhere for the Chargers on first down. Jose Marino has been the workhorse thus far tonight on the ground.
Yeah, those were the two things I had in my trunk, was my tackle and my notes, because I knew I was going to do two of those things for at least 2 nights. Sergio Chapa spent a lot of time in here in this press box.
They're always good to us here at Sam's Stadium. They take care of us with a terrific spot to watch the game, and the film crew does a nice job of switching. Penalty flags on the play. I didn't get to see Joe. Is he here tonight?
He's not here tonight.
Okay.
He's not here, but I did get to catch up with him last time when I came out here. Coach Gilbert Leal is here, though.
I just gave him a shout-out. Yes, sir. Our appreciation to Gilbert Leal, all of these athletic directors at all these schools, just trying to shuffle us schedules. The big assist we got on the volleyball side was when the officials helped us out sharing their schedule. We're hoping to get that again for basketball season because that's going to be a mess. Pass play for the Chargers. Little receiver screen out across the 25 to the 30. Stiff arming a man to the 35 and out of bounds. That's a 10-yard gain.
What a stiff arm from Jose Moreno. And on that screenplay, they've been going back to that screenplay, and it's been there. Just good execution from Coach Cantu's offense.
Good enough for a 10-yard gain, and he just absolutely takes on the would-be tackler right there.
There you go. Throw that stiff arm, kid.
You really don't want to tackle me, do you? 10 yards on the completion. Montalongo now 3 of 7 for 46 yards in the air with 1 interception for the Chargers. 5:53 remaining here in the second quarter. Chargers facing 3rd and 5. And they'll run it right-hand side out across the 40. That's a first down to the 45-yard line. That's a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, this offensive line is starting to gel. And you're starting to see the results. They're getting a good push on the ball, and
watch Marino wait for the blocking. Had to wait for that one right there. And that sealed a deal for a first down, and then a little strength there. Carries for an extra couple.
Talking about Coach Stumball, Zachary Carrera, his running back, he's got to be one of the more smoother, more patient runners I've seen, because, that kid's vision is ridiculous, and he'll follow his blocks, and he'll patiently wait. We're seeing that a lot tonight with Moreno.
Open that up after this next play, because I was taking just a peek at what may be on the horizon for that team. Hesitation and a run up the middle for Montalongo. That'll gain 6. That Hidalgo team, Kevin, is on a collision course with either Miller or Cal Allen coming out of that district.
Well, we know for sure Miller is playing
LaFeria, right.
So it's looking like it might be Cal Allen, but they're going to win that district, or depending on what happens with them in Calhoun.
That's
this
true.
Week.
So
it can shuffle.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Second down play for the Chargers.
But
and they'll rush out. Well, the bottom line is they're going to end up running into one of those teams out of that district that is one of the contenders if they advance a round or two in the playoffs.
Right, absolutely. And I got to see Hidalgo for the second time last week, and the question was, well, was LaFeria not doing this? Was LaFeria not doing that? Why didn't LaFeria do this? And I said, no. Hidalgo's that good. And I think we had that conversation, is that this team's for real. And if teams weren't sipping on the Monty Sunball Kool-Aid, I think you need to pour yourself a glass.
Third down play for the Chargers. Pressure coming. Ball released. And it's broken up, incomplete.
He was looking for Angel Ramirez. Almost had that toe tapper here on the near sideline. He has all the pieces in play. He has a guy in Zachary Carrera who was a 2,000-yard rusher last year. He has his that's his workhorse. He has his game manager in Jacob Martinez, who's a senior quarterback, a veteran, and then he has Dakota Cervantes, on the edge. And I'm not comparing him to Esteban Montelongo, but or Jacques Guillat, but he's along that line. He's a centerpiece of what he does.
Fourth down play. Chargers will get a rugby-style kick away. Takes a Charger roll inside the 30. We'll just go ahead and keep it right here. So the question is, well, first of all, the good news is, because of the number of games we're covering on Rio Sports Live in the Coastal Bend, we get a good view of what's ahead for the teams coming from this area heading in that direction. And so the question is, we've seen Cal Allen, we've seen Miller, we've seen the biggies up there. How does Monty Stumbaugh's team match up with those teams?
I think the question is going to be the physicality, because a team like when they play against Cal Allen, they're big up front. Jeremiah Earls, if he's not the best running back in the region, I don't know who else is, but that kid can really run the football. But one thing that Cal Allen did do was they gave a blueprint for teams to see how to slow down that Miller offense. People forget they were down right out of the gate by 3 scores. Cal Allen didn't throw the football. They just stuck to their game plan. They power football, what Coach Danaher likes to do. So I'm like, okay, well, if Hidalgo somehow plays Miller, you bet that they're going to watch that film, and they're going to have that blueprint, and it's exactly what Coach Stumbaugh likes to do.
Second down play, that'll be a run.
The other thing, too, is that the thing that impressed the heck out of me was how Stumbaugh managed that football game. And I was telling John Trevino that, Joe, the game you and I covered a couple years ago with Westlaco East and Del Rio, how Mike Burgett managed that game to perfection, so perfect that Cibolo Steele was in the stands pouting that they didn't want to play Westlaco East because of that style of offense. Coach Stumbaugh's team took the ball in the third quarter. They gave the ball back to La Feria with 1:38 left in the quarter.
Yeah, that's
that says it all.
That's classic keep away. Looking to throw, they'll swing it to the left-hand flats, but that will be quickly shut down. Meehan on the catch, but he had nowhere to go.
You know, we're in a weird spot, too, really in the sports world, where we have the small schools playing playoff volleyball, and the 5As and 6As are still wrapping up their regular season. And then now we have the small school footballs. They're kicking off the playoffs. Meanwhile, we haven't even had the Battle of the Arroyo yet. So just put that in your brain and let it.
I try. You do, too. It's just mind-boggling to jump the schedule. That's a block punt, and in the end zone, touchdown for the Chargers.
If that doesn't wake up this crowd, I don't know what will. That is a huge play, and something I was about to bring up, that right now you have the Warriors on the ropes. You need a big play. Where is it going to come from?
Special teams.
Special teams, and that's really what makes the difference in football games. Nick Saban at Alabama, they're going to score on offense. They're going to score on defense, and, geez, they find a way to score on special teams. That's what good teams do. They find ways to make it happen. I think Coach Leal may have thought he was still coaching there. He's
Touchdown, Chargers. Now, they do bring in the extra point team for a conventional 1 point. I think they're going to switch that up and try to go for 2, Kevin.
That was Gabriel Aleman. He's their stud linebacker. Aleman's one of their better players defensively, and that's what you need from one of your veterans. Someone needs to step up and make a play. 1:56. You have the momentum. Do you tie it? It's early in the game.
Well,
I don't know.
They called the timeout, which is their final timeout of the first half for the Chargers, and they did. They brought the offense on the field, and they're going to give a play to them. And Coach Cantu saying, let's tie this up. Let's truly take the momentum right here and now.
And he's known for going for it like that. He's a guy who's going to push all the chips onto the table. But I don't know. I think I would just go with the extra point.
Well,
but hey,
at worst, you're down 2, and you got a field goal kicker that's already boom one from 40.
Right.
Montelongo on the offense, has him on the field. Spread offense with 2 receivers left, a single receiver right side. Montelongo looks the defense over.
They're going to come out of a wildcat.
Now they do, and they'll try to throw out of this. Man is open, tip, caught. 2-point conversion's good, we're tied.
It's the old Philly special.
Watch on the replay here.
You're going to dig into your bag of tricks, and kudos to the OC, Sammy Montalvo. coaching staff is right here to our left. They dialed this up to perfection. Tip, catch, and you knew something was up when you saw Montelongo line up and they went into the Wildcat.
A block punt, a 2-point conversion. All knotted up at 14 apiece with 1:56 to go in the half.
Yeah, this is fun. And one thing that next year we'll be able to see it, but this was supposed to be a district game because of the realignment, but because of everything going on and the teams being divided into East Zone, South Zone, whatever you want to call it. This game, these two teams just happen to have the same bye week. So they said, well, hey, let's play a football game. Like you mentioned, this game was supposed to be at McAllen.
Well, is this one of those districts where the winners will play for the district title?
Yeah, it's the zoning.
So if they win out, potentially this is the first of 2 games, right?
That's what Coach Leal is saying. So, hey, we could see this again, but, I mean, next year this is going to be one of the better districts in the Valley with Pace and Porter and BVM and Westlaco East.
Deep kick returned by the Warriors out across the 20, middle of the field, 25-30, 35-yard line, 37-yard line, 1:48 left, time for the Warriors. It all starts with that kick return.
Yeah, now you're in your 2-minute offense. They have all 3 timeouts, $1:47. They have plenty of time to get down the field and get some points, but I mean, Brownsville veterans, they're just making it happen. They're finding ways to get it done, and defensively, kudos to them. They've come up with a couple of big stops. Particularly on 3rd down, they like to bring in that blitz. And
give a shout out to Arturo Ramirez watching the game from Austin, Texas. Thanks for tuning in. Pass play for the Warriors. They'll set up a screen. It's caught. Meehan gets a block, got out across the 40, stays in bounds. Got across the 44. That's about a 8-yard gain.
You know, on their last drive on 3rd and 10, if it wasn't for that play to Adam Alvarado, Nicky Rowe punts. So, you know, the point being, defensively, Brownsville Veterans has done a really good job.
2nd down for the Warriors. Quarterback's going to run, bouncing it outside. That's Gomez. He'll stay in bounds. Warriors have all 3 of their timeouts left, and they'll use one right there. And now's where you got to be careful because 1:09 to go. Kevin stopping the clock on 3rd down. You don't get a first down here.
Right. Or if you pass and it's an incomplete pass, the clock stops. BVM doesn't have any timeouts left, but you know you're talking about a little under a minute to go and potentially good field position. So
they're ready to go on this 3rd down play. They will run it. Meehan bounces it to the midfield stripe. Got a first down.
All right. So now the clock's going to stop. We'll see if they call a timeout.
Well, they won't have to call timeout. Well, they've already started the clock, even though the chains weren't set. Now they get the chains set up, but the official had already put the football down and got out of the way. Down to 41 seconds in the half. From the midfield stripe, Gomez drops back to throw. Protection is there. Now he's going to run. Has some room. Leaps over a man down the sideline, and a big gain for Gomez.
That's just a big-time play right there. And did he get out of bounds himself is the question.
They did stop the clock to move the chains. Now the officials signaling a timeout on the far side of the field. 26 seconds left. Look at this use. First of all, that's athleticism to jump over a tackler.
Yeah.
And now looking downfield, vision tells you there's extra yards there. And a couple of timeouts left. Now they're still showing the Warriors have 2 timeouts remaining, so they did give him credit of getting out of bounds. First down play for the Warriors. Gomez drops back to throw. Over the middle. That's nearly picked off.
That was almost intercepted from Brownsville Veterans.
Stops the clock with 22 seconds to go, but watch this. This is when your defender has a better chance of making a catch. This is on, oh man, that's right into your hands, Kevin.
Yeah, he did not pick up that linebacker right there.
2nd and 10 for the Warriors. Gomez rolls out this time, buys some time, delivers the ball. Man, they're incomplete. That would have been a gain.
Yikes. You could just chalk that up as a mental error. Diego Pacheco, who had that touchdown earlier in this game, just simply drops the football. And, you know, Rowe, because they have 2 timeouts, they're still able to use the entire field. And that hurts because now you're in a 3rd and 10 situation.
And that would have been a first down inside the 20. Now with 18 seconds left, the Rowe Warriors will have to gain the 10 yards to get a new set of downs. Still do have 2 timeouts remaining. Gomez drops back, looking to throw. That's going to be picked off by the Chargers down the sideline. Out across the 40. Now the ball stripped out of there. That's a loose football. Chargers recover.
How crazy is this? You have a drop pass. Now that hurts just as much. The DB was just sitting on that out route right there.
And then you see.
Yeah.
Man.
He did strip it at the end.
Yeah, give good credit to the receiver that time. In this case, that's Alvin Alvarado. And now 6 seconds left, and the Brownsville Veterans Chargers will bring the offense on the field.
Yeah, they just
talk about a prevent defense. You got safeties back inside the 30-yard line for the Rowe Warriors. We'll take a look here what Montalongo does on this final play of the first half. Rolls out to throw, going to run. They'll give him a lot of room, but he's also going to be contained. Stays inbound. First half comes to an end. We've decided nothing. 14-14 your score. We'll be back. We'll talk it over. We'll run down some stats. And during our halftime, we'll run some highlights for you as well. It's Kevin Narro. I'm Joe Bowling. Sam Stadium, BISD assistants on the cameras. We'll be back with halftime after this.
Today.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez injury attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Josh Moody and Coach Rolly Gonzalez of Josh Moody Loans are former Harlingen Cardinals and would like to wish all the teams good luck in tonight's games.
Forever Memories Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez injury attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Back here, Sam Stadium at halftime. Brownsville Veterans, Memorial Chargers, and the Rowe Warriors locked up in a good one in a 14-14 tie. And Gilbert Leal brings in the hopeful, let's decide the playoff contenders scenario that these schools have come up with, Kevin. And that's the first and foremost thing they do is put a plan together and then hope to execute it if COVID-19 will allow it. So the winner of the West plays the winner of the East, and that'll decide first place in the district. Everything else is decided the second place versus the third place, West versus East, and flip it on the 3-2 with the higher seed getting the home game, and that will decide the 4 playoff teams here in this district. But again, these teams we're seeing tonight, this is considered a non-district game because one's from the west, one's from the east, and so they very well could meet up again depending on how it shakes out first through third in district play.
Right, and because of everything, this would have been a district game. But when you're looking at the east side, see, because when you and I were sitting at realignment back in February, we saw, or January, we saw that this new look district was going to be monstrous. It's still a heck of a district with the east side, half of it being Porter Pace, Lopez Vets, and Westlaco East. Obviously, Lopez, not having an ideal year, but outside of that, Pace is a heck of a football team. They're taking on Westlaco East tomorrow at Bobby Lackey Stadium. That is going to be a ground and pound, knockout, drag-out fight. Brownsville Veterans is always competitive. Brownsville Porter, kudos to them, Coach Carlos Leal, getting the big win against Brownsville Veterans. Kevin Garcia, a good kid at quarterback. He's having himself a heck of a year, and the Cowboys are off to a good start here in 2020. But right, the word is hopeful. Hopefully we can get to this and really see the way this is mapping out. We're going to get a good taste of it on Friday when Lyford plays against San Diego. They've adopted this same this format here, so we'll see what it looks like. We saw 16 teams make the playoffs in baseball. I wasn't a fan of it because we had teams under 500 make the playoffs. Kind of the same thing here where we're seeing just a different format. Of course, everything different this year, but again, the word's hopeful.
It still got down to during the baseball playoffs at the professional level. Still, by the time you got to the League Championship Series and the World Series, it felt like championship baseball was on the field, and I think as these kids get into playoff mode, it's going to feel more and more like that to them too.
Right, and the one thing that's concerning for me is a team like Rowe where they're going to have to play 3 games in a stretch of 10 days, starting with tonight. Brownsville Veterans just had a game on Friday. Right now they're playing, I think, what Coach Guthrie told me, on the 5th day. So, where and when, if this fatigue will kick in, it eventually weighs on the kids because one thing that we saw in the volleyball district in Class 4A was towards the end of the season, that mess where teams had so many games to make up, district certification was coming up. You can make up volleyball in a bunch of games in a couple of days. You can't do that with football.
No.
That's the problem. You can't make these kids play, although we're seeing it
every 5 days.
Every 5 days. My goodness, it's difficult. And for them to keep doing that all year and then, hey, by the way, now let's vamp it up for the playoffs. Manny Gomez said that, this is a year to where if anybody's going to do anything crazy, this could be the year because not every team is going to be at their best.
No.
Whether it's because of the off season, whether it's those kids are out because of COVID, there's going to be some kind of funky deal heading into these games when we hit to the playoffs. And
each game has that aura of, can we practice all week? Or in some cases, I was talking to Coach Tony V at Port Isabel today. He's like, hey, we had to limit even any full contact practices for fear that what if someone gets tested and then he's been in full contact, so we have to pull everyone off the field. And so you've got that going on too. And I know coaches, when they get these high-level teams, playoff teams we're talking about, rhythm and just the repetitive nature of game day, preparation for the week, and how you go about game day, that's all thrown away.
Yeah, it's routine. It's routine, and that's one thing that I talked to with Coach David Cantu before the game. I said, Coach, I think we're all out of our routine here. We're here on a Wednesday night, and I'm not a player. I'm not a coach. I can't imagine how they felt.
Yeah.
He said, yesterday by design they went shorts, shirts, and a helmet to keep the kids fresh. And I'm sure those types of things usually have an effect eventually at some point.
We're at halftime. It's a 14-14 score. We'll take a break when we come down. I'll run down statistics, and then we'll have the highlights of the first half. Nothing going on the field. Again, one band is here. They're not allowed to perform. The camera that you see is the only active camera, and it's showing you everything that you'd want to see that's happening on the field, my friends. Nothing. We'll be back with more after this.
An An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez injury attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Apply to the university that offers 98 unique degree plans. The university where 99% of students receive financial assistance. The university where you belong. Apply to Texas A&M University Kingsville today.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Castillo. I invite you to visit San Benito and see for yourself the many things this community has to offer. Our offices of economic development offer a variety of business resources to developers, investors, and business owners from small to large scale. Contact us and let us work together on your next business opportunity.
Back here, we're at halftime on Rio Sports Live at Sam Stadium in Brownsville, Texas. Brownsville veterans and Nicky Rowe tied up at 14 apiece. Looking statistically at this ball game, the Rowe Warriors, the visitors, with the most offense, 197 yards of total offense on the ground, 16 carries for 151 yards. A couple of touchdowns in the air, 3 of 8 for 46 yards. No touchdowns. Leading ball carrier of the night, Nicholas Meehan with 9 carries, 44 yards. That's just under 5 yards per carry. But Diego Pacheco has 2 touches, 69 yards, 34.5 yards per carry, and he owns the 2 touchdowns. In the passing game, 3 of 7 for 46 for James Gomez. His leading receiver, Nicholas Meehan, has a couple of catches for 5 yards. Meanwhile, on the Brownsville veterans side of things, they gain 124 yards of total offense, 78 of that on the ground on 20 carries, 3 of 8 in the air for 46 yards. Leading the way on the ground, quarterback Marlon Montalongo has 10 carries for 37 yards. Right behind him, Jose Moreno with 8 carries for 36 yards. On the 3 of 8 passing game by Montalongo, 3 different receivers in the mix on a catch. Leading the way, Brandon Bittencourt with 1 for 32 yards. Jose Moreno and Nathan Fernandez with a catch apiece. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you the first half highlights. We still got plenty of time on the clock.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez injury attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Apply to the university that offers 98 unique degree plans. The university where 99% of students receive financial assistance. The university where you belong. Apply to Texas A&M University Kingsville today.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
The Harlingen CISD HCISD elementary experience looks something like this. Let's see that again. To learn more about the HCISD elementary experience, visit hcisd.org.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught. Back here at halftime at Sam Stadium, our score 14-14. You got to hear from the statistic point of view of how the scores came about. Now here's a treat. Here's our halftime highlights. Here's the plays that got us to 14-14.
An increase of 169 cases of COVID-19.
Hospitals continue receiving COVID-19 patients.
When the world needed you, did you rise to the occasion? Since the pandemic began, Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys have won over 700 personal injury cases and recovered millions for their clients. When others shut down, we continued fighting for victims of car accidents, work injuries, and 18-wheeler cases because we still believe in justice for all. Jay Gonzalez.
Got 3.5 on that. Second down coming up for the Rowe Warriors. Gomez sends a man in motion again. He'll hand it off. Oh, he keeps it on a read. Gets hit in the backfield, and down he goes as the Chargers were all over that play.
Yeah, Angel Barrera came in and made a nice tackle in the back.
The Rowe Warriors and the Chargers should get terrific field position out of this. They'll wait for the punt. It's a low kick. It takes a bounce for the Warriors out across the 45. Stays in their territory. Now it's a live football as they'll dive on that. And the Rowe Warriors and the Chargers should get terrific field position out of this. They'll wait for the punt. It's a low kick. It takes a bounce for the Warriors out across the 45. Stays in their territory. Now it's a live football as they'll dive on that. And the Rowe Warriors are saying they got it, Kevin.
Oh, that's just a bad break right there.
That wasn't the case.
Well, see, the Chargers, they're going to catch a break there, and that would have been a bad start offensively for the Chargers.
Chargers have it on first down. On a read, quarterback keeps it, bounces at the outside, gets past one defender. Here comes 3 more, and he'll be thrown backwards. That's right for Montalongo, now 9 yards on the ground. Chargers, the Brownsville veterans, trying to take advantage of the short field position on their first possession of the ball game. 8:06 and counting here in the first quarter. They'll hand it off, bounce it left-hand side, and down the sideline with some room across the 20. That's a first down. They didn't score a lot of points last week, and the confidence level alone, you'd like to maybe punch it in. And I would say 4-down territory is a certain reality on this first drive. Montalongo reads, runs right side, is going to get hit, and down he goes. Loss on the play as the Rowe Warriors are all over that.
Yeah, that's just a big play.
From up and down the field, you're going side to side. Good things happen on the defensive end. Spotted down at the 10-yard line, a 20-yard field goal attempt for the Chargers. Kick is a line drive kick, and it sails through and good.
News of the day, the big bombshell dropped, and just, another frustrating situation. PI was, exposed to PSJ Southwest, who they shut down earlier today.
Mihan on a carry, gets some yardage, this time on the sweep and down the sideline, left-hand side. This may go to the house. Diego Pacheco is in. Touchdown, Rowe Warriors.
Victor Vega made a couple of big plays down there on the goal line. They overcame that late hit penalty. They overcame the approachment penalty, and they were still able to come up with a stop and only give up 3 points.
Single back in the backfield, stands to the left of Montalongo. Trips receiver on the right side. Montalongo will keep it himself. Bounces it to the outside, thrown back, and down he goes. It's unsportsmanlike. How do they throw the quarterback down? I don't know. 15 yards nonetheless. Chargers with the ball from their own 45. Montalongo on a read, keeps it up the middle. Got some room. Midfield 45, down to the 40-yard line. That's a 17-yard gain on first down. On the ground today, 4 carries, 26 yards. Second down and 4. On a read, Montalongo will keep it. Got to the 30s here in this ball game. Compared to the Rowe Warriors, 69, but remember 61 of that came on 1 carry. the touchdown run on the last time on the field for the Warriors. Second down play. Montalongo rolls out, pressured, now delivers a ball, and nearly intercepted in the passing game. That was their first pass attempt of the evening. Montalongo now drops back. Pressure comes, has to get away from a man. Does, gets rid of a ball up the middle, picked off on a tip drill by the Rowe Warriors.
Well, you can, of course, he had 23 carries.
3 carries now for 19 yards here in the first quarter. Stays in the backfield at 2nd and 11, which just sounds a lot better than 1st and 25. Handoff, Mian again. This time he's hit. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Chase from behind. Just good pursuit from this defensive line from a guy who made the play there in the backfield. Now you're facing a 3rd and long defensively for Brownsville veterans. Coach Evans known to dial up a blitz or 2 here in these long situations on 3rd down.
They're coming after him. Quarterback rolls out. Yamas gets away from the pressure, delivers down the sideline, incomplete pass.
There it is. That's just ready for the playoffs, and it's just a crazy deal with what's going on.
Just a crazy year, that's for sure. First down play for the Chargers. Montalongo on the read, hands it off, and down goes Moreno.
Last drive, but Garcia, before that quarter end, came up with a big play that put this offense behind the chains.
3rd down and every bit of 14 to go for Marlon Montalongo. Drops straight back to throw. Protection is there, delivers a ball downfield, got a man down there, caught to the 20-yard line. First down. I see they have the Canes challenge going on here, so the free box combo is still in effect this year. Or is it? Or is this from last year, Kevin?
I think that's from last year.
Ah, I love that. I love promoting that thing.
2019, yeah.
One of their scoreboard sponsors. First play after the timeout, and that goes nowhere as the Warriors are standing.
So that really put that 4A district in a really big bind.
Field goal, they'll mark it down at the 30. This is a 40-yard attempt with 9:55 to go in the half. For the Chargers, high snap, they get it down, the kick is away, got plenty of leg on it, and it is good from 40 yards out. I saw the bands were at least, well, the band for the Chargers was here. I don't know if they'll get to perform. Starting to take note of how many. And so that's some of the first half plays that got us here to our 14-14 tie. 2 teams are making their way back out to the respective end zones. And so that means the Rowe Warriors and the Brownsville Chargers are 4 minutes and some change from kicking it off in the second half. And Kevin, the first thing I always say when I'm at a ball game is that there's nothing better than a football game in which at halftime coaches can look their players dead set in the eyes and say, you can win this game, and know they can. And both teams here fully know we can win this football game.
Right, and I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in Coach David Gunthu's locker room because he's a fiery guy. He's as fiery as they come. Your first drive, you go down the field, you establish a run game, you get a field goal, you come up with a couple of big stops. The momentum shifter right there was that block punt, and then BVM goes for 2 and they convert. And then the big play for me was that drop pass here from Pacheco in that final minute, because if he catches that ball, Rowe calls a timeout. They have plenty of options. They can kick a field goal. They can potentially score a touchdown. BVM, they force another turnover. They get the interception. Right now, I fully believe you will agree with me that the momentum's with the Chargers.
It is. Brownsville veterans scored that touchdown. Early on, it was a couple of field goals, but they did manage to get points on the board via the touchdown, and now they'll also get the ball to start the second half. And we'll take a look at the adjustments that have been made and see if momentum truly does stay on the home side. Out of the gate, we're at Sam Stadium. It's a Wednesday night, meaning we got a lot of sports coming up. We've got, let's see, volleyball playoffs. I'm heading to Devine. How far do I drive for that one tomorrow night? Freer in action. So we got football tomorrow night. We've got football and volleyball on Friday. Swimming tomorrow as well.
In Harlingen.
And
there's football tomorrow night.
Here.
And Friday, yeah.
And Friday here. Football still across the Rio Grande Valley, albeit there's some teams that aren't playing, but there are a handful of teams in which we are covering. Big one in Los Fresnos. Well, the Falcons or San Benito get on the winning track. And let's just go ahead and talk 32-6A real quick because of the fact that Hannah Eagles, Harlingen Cardinals on a collision course. Kevin, are they the top 2 dogs? Indeed, they are on the schedule.
They are. They definitely are. And it's, we still need to wait and see what Weslaco can do. But what Coach Guest is doing this year, it's just amazing in what they're doing and how they're able to put the pieces of the puzzle together, because it's not easy to replace a guy like Victor Campos. But how about Diego Escobar, a guy that we covered over the summer, playing the quarterback position? The kid was playing defense out at 7-on-7. I'd never have guessed that the kid could play the QB position. But him and Ryan Trinidad is a guy who last year, Mark and I said, let's put a big circle around this kid because he's going to replace that Aaron Frosto of the past. And Trinidad's just having himself a heck of a season. But, oh, boy, you got Joe Zuniga over at the Harlingen Cardinals. They got a couple of hidden gems. They got their big left tackle, Hayden Mann. He's a senior. He's getting a lot of looks at the college level. Mark Guest, Manny Gomez, battle for 32-6A. Let's do it. I'm excited. And that's going to be here at Sam's.
Yeah, and again, Hannah's already knocked off San Benito on the road.
That was a shocker. I was shocked.
They beat Los Fresnos on the road. So there's 2 playoff teams from last year. So the Hannah Eagles are, they're not going to hide from anybody. And Kevin, they don't need to. They're a talented football team. And when Harlingen gets here, that's next week.
Yeah,
it's going to be quite the ball game.
And then the Brownsville Veterans, it's going to be that week where Hannah will be here, BVM will be on campus. It's going to be one of those days. There's going to be plenty of football going around, and it's going to be so much fun because that's what all this is leading to. And kudos to 32-6A with the way they designed that district is they're playing their zone games first. After that, everything else is gravy. So the Battle of the Arroyo, hopefully we will get there, but it's not one of their zone games. So, their priorities were beating Weslaco, Los Fresno South, and then now Hannah because it's in their zone. So, it's going to be Coach Ledesma just told me that they're playing Weslaco next week. So there you go. You're going to have 2 games in a row that are going to be blockbusters in 32-6A, and Weslaco is just now coming out of quarantine. It's weird saying that, but they're going to come out. They're going to be ready to go. So Harlingen, lots of big football coming in these next couple of weeks.
That Weslaco game was going to be the opener for Harlingen on the road at Weslaco before the Weslaco shutdown. And so
that was out of the gate. The game
we would have had a lot more understanding as far as when that Hannah mix started up of what they were going to be as far as in the mix of those 3 teams. San Benito, we thought on paper, was going to be also top dog capabilities, and they very well still may come back.
they're behind the 8 ball. They're behind the 8 ball.
Kickoff in the second half is underway. A short kick. They'll let that bounce. It's in bounds. That's a live football. Chargers dive on it to the 23, so that's a well-executed punch kick that time by the Rowe Warriors. And so now we'll see the Brownsville Veterans Chargers offense on the field. Just 124 yards of total offense in the first half for Brownsville Veterans unofficially. Took advantage of a short field and turned that into a field goal despite having a goal-to-goal situation inside the 10. And the second field goal was a showcase of a young kicker with a tremendous leg and a 40-yard field goal. Defense got points on the board. It was a special team play. Now the offense on the field here trying to get something started to start the third quarter. Running play goes for about 4.
And that Harlingen game is going to be in Weslaco as planned, and then the Bird Gang will come down here and take on the Eagles. And, that team was always on the brink of doing some really good things once Coach Guest took over, and we saw that that year they went to the third round a couple years ago.
Second down play coming up for the Chargers of Brownsville Veterans. Montelongo stays in at quarterback. He went 3 of 8 for 46 yards in the first half. On second down, going to run. Dodges one man, thrown down after he gains maybe a yard or 2. Hit that time first by Victor Vega, and that's all that needed to hit him as down he goes.
Yeah, I was shocked when you're talking about Hannah and San Benito. The impressive thing about Hannah is they won both those games on the road, and I know things are different. The crowd isn't exactly a factor both at Los Fresnos and San Benito, but a road win is a road win for a young team like that.
Third down play for Montalongo. Play action, going to throw. Here comes pressure. Gets away from one man. Here comes two more. Gets rid of the pass. Caught, but short of first down yardage. Coming back to make the catch, Nathan Fernandez. But a punting situation will develop as Brownsville veterans 3 and out. Rowe Warriors get the job done.
There's a flag, though, on the far side of the field at about the 24-yard line. So
we'll take a look at that. Right now the offense staying on the field for the Chargers. Here comes the call from the official. We'll leave the crowd mic on. He should be able to pick him up. Okay, so declined penalty. It was against the offense. So the pass play results in a loss of a couple of yards. And with 10:38 left here in the third quarter, Chargers will punt it away, and Rowe would appear to get good field position out of this unless we get some kind of tremendous punt. Lorenzo Lopez is back to return the kick. Stands for the Warriors inside his 40. Low snap. Punter gets to it, gets it away. They'll take a bounce. They'll get away from it. And it will roll dead right at the 30. And that's where the Warriors will take over. So defensively, the Warriors get the job done, Kevin. They saw a lead evaporate in the first half. Offense on the field here for the first time. 151 yards on the ground. Stay with what got you here.
Right, that's exactly what I was going to say. If they can just keep feeding both Mijan and Lopez, that 1-2 punch has really impressed me here tonight, especially with Mijan and what he's been able to do. So,
first down play. Man in motion goes left to right. And that goes nowhere on a carry by Mijan. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Fell forward for no gain. His 10th carry of the night for 44 yards. Quarterback, Mateo Giannis. Hands it off on a jet sweep. They'll go right side. That goes for limited yards.
You know, we mentioned how there's no bands here tonight. You know, also just the limited fans. You're looking across the way and you're seeing everybody spread out. And you talk about home field advantage when it starts to matter in the month of November when you're starting to see these crowds really pack stadiums, and that's just not the case this year.
Well, we're in November, and we're playing the third game for these two teams. Again, third down play. They'll need 7. That's completed, and that is going to be close to first down yardage on a catch by Gustavo Cruz, and the mark will give him enough for a first down.
Yeah, they're going to give him that friendly spot right there.
Watch Cruz. Yeah, he's right at, that's first down, just across the 40. His first catch for Giannis, his first completion. He's now 1 of 2 in the game for the 8 yards. Put a new set of downs. Pacheco goes in motion. They'll hand it off to him. Upended as he gets out across the 40, the 47-yard line. Diego Pacheco, that's the first time he's touched it on a carry and not scored. He'll take a 7-yard gain.
Pacheco's a little bit of a change of pace. He has a little bit more speed. And he's shown that speed. He showed it earlier tonight on that first touchdown run.
8:49 and counting here in the third quarter. Giannis takes a high snap. Going to keep it up the middle. Got a first down into Charger territory, the 47.
You know, these two teams, coming in with similar track records from 2019 was Rowe had the year that they were looking for under Coach Bobby Flores. He's been there for a few. I want to say this is his 4th year there. They went 7-5 overall. They went 3-4 in district, but they did win a bi-district title, and they went to the area round.
Here's Mijan again in the secondary. Brought down, but he'll gain 7 yards.
Something that McAllen Rowe was waiting to see. They were waiting for that breakout year. And then on the flip side, you look at Brownsville veterans, and in the district they were in last year, they went 6-3 in district and didn't make the playoffs. But then you talk about Palmview, Mission Veterans, Porter, Pace. It was arguably one of the better districts last year in Class 5A.
Mijan again on a carry. A penalty flag's on it as he'll gain enough for a first down, but Right now, this looks like it's going to be coming back against the Rowe Warriors.
You know, and the fun fact too, you know, Brownsville veterans are still relatively young. They were brought in as a school within this last decade, but this is the first time these two teams ever meet. So, and you know, in Brownsville's brief history, and you know, Rowe's been there for quite some time. This is their first ever meeting, and get used to each other, because this is going to be a district matchup come next year, and then we'll see how district realignment works out. But Coach David Cantu was telling me when I first saw the schedule, I said, hey, I've never coached, at least as a head coach, at McAllen Stadium. So he's like, I was a little excited to take in that environment, but that's not the case.
Second down play for the Warriors. Meehan again on the carry. And he's on his feet, spins past, and nearly got a first down, brought down, but that's a tremendous carry by Meehan.
Yeah, that's big boy football right there. We haven't seen a run like that from Meehan in a couple of series, really. I mean, you're just pulling your hair out if you're Coach Evans defensively. There's a lot of missed tackles there.
3rd and now 3 yards to go for the Warriors of McAllen Rowe. Out of a shotgun. They'll hand it off. Don't want to read. It's a keep. Giannis has a first down. Yamas, that is. Mateo on his second carry.
You know, McAllen Rowe, you know, they were blessed to have a kid like Jesus Sanchez these last couple years playing the quarterback position. And Sean Tarantola, their offensive coordinator, you know, he's one of the brighter minds when it comes to offense, really, for McAllen Rowe. He's really done a good job with Coach Bobby Flores, who happens to be Nicky Rose's alma mater.
Warriors on a first down play. Spinning forward is Lorenzo Lopez. So they're featuring Meehan. They're using the quarterback, Giannis or Gomez. They have Diego Pacheco and Lorenzo Lopez, all fresh horses to run that football as they go over the 200-yard mark in yards on the ground here tonight.
Yeah, and normally you see Bobby Flores' teams like to throw the football, but tonight, you know, they've come in with an excellent ground attack with 3 different backs, really.
Another carry by Lopez as he rumbles forward, stays on his feet. They blow the play dead finally. We'll take a look at the spot. Short of first down yardage. But his 4th carry of the night for now 20 yards. That means he's averaging 5 yards a carry. Meehan is averaging 5.3 yards a carry. Gomez, the backup, or is he a backup quarterback? The platooning quarterback is averaging 8.7 a carry. Yamas in the game is averaging 8.5 yards a carry. He'll run again. This time he'll be below average on that one as he goes down for a short gain.
You know, we were talking about the flipping of schedules as I'm looking down at the roster here for McAllen Rowe. Monica Kaufman, the principal at McAllen Rowe, that's Coach Marcus Kaufman's wife. PSG North plays McAllen Memorial tomorrow in a game that was picked up on the fly because of cancellations. So you get the old Littleton rivalry there, father versus son. Old OC versus head coach, and Coach Kaufman and Coach Littleton. So that's going to be a heck of a football game tomorrow down in McAllen.
4th down play. Warriors going to go for it. Over the middle, incomplete. Gustavo Cruz was open again. They missed him, Kevin.
That's a huge play defensively. And again, Brownsville veterans defense coming through. You know, it seems like they got that bend but don't break type of defense. And, you know, kudos to them for giving up those big gash plays on the run. But, hey, when it comes down to it, this defense has made some plays. And interesting call there, electing not to kick the field goal there for a Rowe. I'm not sure whether that's in the range or not, but this Brownsville veterans defense has definitely stepped up when they needed to.
Stops the clock with 4:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Chargers have the ball at their own 25-yard line on first down. And they'll run it up the middle, spinning forward, 3 yards gain, and then the Warriors' defense is right there. And of the 11 men on the field wearing white jerseys, 9 of them were right there to contain that run.
Now, talking about PSG North, I got to see them last week. Jack Lugal, if that's a name the fans aren't familiar with, I think you should get familiar with the name Jack Lugal. The kid is a beast there in the defensive backfield for PSG North. That's a very young football team that's quickly on the upswing for Coach Kaufman.
2nd down play coming up after a 4-yard gain on first. Montalongo will keep it. Rumbles forward. got a first down as he gets it out to the 38-yard line. That's a 10-yard gain for Marlon Montalongo.
You know, Marlon Montalongo is a smart kid. He's seen what the Gustavo Vasquez's have done, the Marcus Castillos. I'm not sure how old he was when Marcus Castillo was playing quarterback, but, you know, that's one thing that I told Coach David Cantu before the game is that you've never been short of quarterbacks. You know, this program is known to produce talent. Kids like Damian Maldonado, all those guys of the past.
First down for the Chargers. Montalongo hands it off. That one's shut down. No gain on the play.
You know, speaking of Brownsville veterans and being that November 6th, oh boy, is the first day for regular season girls basketball.
It is.
Some coaches, Joe, have told me that they're expecting Brownsville veterans to be the #1 team in the Valley when it comes to girls basketball.
Can't wait to see them.
I got a little bit of some scouting reports, and they're like, that team is coming. Coach Abel told us has a heck of a ball club down there, so it's like, step aside Edinburgh High, step aside Harlingen, step aside Weslaco. Here comes Brownsville veterans.
We were down here last year, right preseason, and just watching the workout. And Rudy was with me. And he was watching the workout in the gym, and he was like, man, they look really good. And there was like 40 girls out there on day one. That's an incomplete pass. And he was like, man, they are really good. And I was like, Rudy, this isn't even the varsity. And he's like, what? And we walked over to the other gym, and I was like, here is the varsity. These are girls that are trying to get into this program.
Right.
And he's like, oh, my goodness. I was like, yeah, this team has got – and that was last year, so you knew the pieces were coming.
The pieces were coming, and they're now in full play. Juju Alvarez – she's a player. She's going to run the point this year for them. And that name is just fun to say, Juju Alvarez.
That's a basketball name.
She's a stud. She's a stud.
Third down play for the Chargers. They'll need 9. Protection is there. Penalty flag thrown. And now Montalongo goes down.
The flag came in from the secondary, so it might be in the area of holding.
Alan Pacheco was able to get in there and drop Montalongo. Would have been a loss of 9. Here comes the call from the official.
It's a hold on the offense, so that's going to wipe that away.
So they'll decline that penalty and take the sack.
So we're seeing, you know, the defenses, like you mentioned at halftime, these defenses definitely making some adjustments on both sides, because now we're playing field position here, and we've been deadlocked at 14 since the second quarter.
2 minutes and 40 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Neither team has scored. That's a terrible snap. Punter gets to it. Montalongo gets a good kick away out of that. Takes a roll for the Chargers into Rowe territory and down to the 32. And that's where the Warriors will take over. Warriors have outgained Brownsville veterans 259 to 132. But looking at the scoreboard, Kevin, no worries, no concerns there. Chargers need another stop.
Yeah, their defense has definitely played really well tonight. And again, that bend but don't break defense. You know, and then again, we saw the interception towards the end of the first half, and right now the offense is, you know, looking for their defense to come up with another stop.
Rowe Warriors on first down. Low snap. They'll hand it off, and Meehan in the secondary got to the 40, 45, midfield stripe, and that's a 19-yard gain.
Another big run from this rushing attack from McAllen Rowe. Meehan on the carry, checking out that replay. He just slipped right through.
Nearly broke that. 13 carries now, 83 yards on the ground for Nicholas Meehan. 2:03 left here in the third quarter. Man in motion. They'll hand it off again to Meehan. Now the quarterback will keep it on a read, and they'll hand it off inside, and there's room. I want to see the replay on that, and how in the world did Nicholas Meehan get that football? Let's see it on the end. I didn't think Meehan got this handoff. But he did, and bounces it outside.
Well, there you go.
You got to give credit to your quarterback on being able to sell that. And on the hand, first down play. This time keeping it, Yamas. And Yamas takes it forward. He'll gain 7. Mia now with 95 yards on the ground, right around the 100-yard mark. And this Rowe Warrior offense ground game is functioning well. Rumbling forward is Lorenzo Lopez. That's enough for a first down as he'll gain 6.5. So Lopez with 27 yards. Mian with 95 yards. Pacheco with 76 yards. 26 each for Yamas and Gomez. 3rd and 1 here. And up the middle, a lot of room in the secondary. 5, touchdown. Lorenzo Lopez for 19 yards.
McAllen Rowe able to get on the board. No, there's the replay right there. Just a strong run.
Running through a tackle there. By the time the second guy hits him, you're chasing him from behind. The only thing you can do is carry momentum into the end zone for the score. Coach Liao coming over, and with 55 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, Kevin going to hand off. There's the extra point, but the ball gets away. That's a loose football. Finally recovered. And so the extra point, no good. 20-14 your score. Athletic director for the Brownsville School Districts, Gilbert Liao. Coach, good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you back, Joe.
I've been here all along, just haven't been physically in this place.
Well,
but
it's just nice. It's just nice to see some football in the Rio Grande Valley again.
Oh, it is. We talked about this. Talk about this from a coaching perspective. Can you put any season you've ever been around anywhere close to what players have had to go through getting ready for games?
No, it's been very challenging on all athletic departments all over the state of Texas, really all over the United States. But the amount of meetings that we've had, just as athletic administrators all over the state of Texas, our leadership, the UIL. I know it's been challenging all the way from Dr. Elza, Dr. Bride up at the UIL, all the way down through our ADs Association, and of course our Texas High School Coach Association, our Rio Grande Valley ADs Association. I think we've grown closer. We've met more than we ever have in our entire lives, and of course, our motto from day one has been adapt. Because as soon as our plans got put into place, man, you're always one phone call away from making changes.
Well, we talked about that too. That there's just no consistency and just preparation time, all the way to the point. If you're the away team, how in the world are you going to get everyone on buses and stay separated? And even the bus ride to a game isn't the same. So if ever there were a year, Manny Gomez said it in Harlingen, if ever the year where something wacky could really happen, could be this year.
Well, wacky is an understatement. There has been tremendous amounts of protocols been put in place in all school districts, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to, as a department, trying to find the things that are working. We know we're not necessarily against the clock, but we're trying to find ways that we could just try to be a little safer from one week to the other. We already know that I've already talked to our coaches and our athletes that we're on bonus time right now. Anytime you have an opportunity just to get on the field and compete against somebody else is a blessing. Where in all years past, it would be something that you thought that would never ever happen as far as for competing against anybody, or your season's getting cut short like it did this spring with baseball and softball and track and soccer.
Well, and again, you enter this year with the memories of how it ended last year, with seniors all anticipating to wrap up their careers, baseball, softball, track and field, and it's all taken away. Yeah. And so everyone that steps into any athletic arena this year, whether it be football, volleyball, basketball starting, the approach is take advantage of what's in front of you because it may not be there.
Exactly right. I still remember our last track meet was the week before spring break, and I still remember getting on the phone and calling back some softball teams and baseball teams and telling them to get on the bus and come back home no matter what inning you're in, whether you're going to play or not, not play, get back. And at that time we thought it was going to be a week deal, a 2-week deal, maybe a 3-week deal. Never in our minds that we thought that, it was going to do what it was going to do now. So I think our athletes now know it was unfortunate for the seniors last year, but I think that the athletes that were underclassmen in the spring know that each one of these opportunities that you have a chance to compete is a true blessing now.
Third quarter comes to an end. We're at a 20-14 ball game, visiting with Gilbert Leal, the athletic director for the Brownsville school districts. Another thing that came into play, Coach, is the fact that for volleyball and football, there was no real preseason. There was certainly no summer workout, so conditioning was an extreme concern for all coaches. How about these basketball teams that are starting up? Have they had a little more semblance of, here's how we get ready for a season and it's ready to roll?
Well, I think our phase 2 sports, like our soccer, boys and girls basketball, they've already had the opportunity now to see the protocols in place with our phase 1 sports of volleyball and football. What the kids are doing here now is extremely challenging. There's no substitution for a legitimate strength and conditioning program that are being run by your coaching staffs, and for them to be virtually trained, all summer long, and then to get pushed back, a couple of months, here at the beginning of football season, is a true challenge for the coaching staffs. I remember going through one of our athletic coordinator meetings, and I was just telling them that this is not the year that I wish to be coaching. I was like, I don't know how you guys are doing it, but we'll try to do the best job we can. But obviously, that's what the kids in the Rio Grande Valley traditionally have been known for is hard workers, and our coaching staffs around the Rio Grande Valley have always done a great job in the weight room and their strength and conditioning programs and their 7-on-7 programs to try to get our kids, to prepare them for those 3rd and 4th round, games that we're trying to, to break out with. And with that not in place, the scariest thing about coming in this year was I was just hoping that we weren't going to have a lot of injuries early, because we just didn't have an opportunity to be able to physically get our kids, physically prepared for the season. I've watched about 3 or 4 weeks now of football, and I haven't seen a lot of injuries. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I think also it helps too that we're starting football so late that the cooler weather probably helps. Usually when we started in August, it's 120 degrees with the heat factor, and you have a lot of dehydration and a lot of heat issues, and we're starting with some cooler temperatures now, so that may help a little bit.
But still, you're looking at teams such as the 2 on the football field here as the Rowe Warriors continue to ground it out on the ground. But you're looking at 2 teams that, under normal circumstances, this would be the 3rd time they're on the field against another team. And normally that would be 2 scrimmages, and this would be the opener. But this is a this is the 3rd game they're playing, and district games are all meaningful, obviously. But what the coaches are doing is just some amazing things, just getting players ready. But the players too are responding. This is a Wednesday night football game, and they're out here playing as if it's Friday night, and nothing's changed.
Yeah, you can see traditionally your good football teams are going to do most of their improvement, between their 1st and 2nd games. So, like right now, you're going to start seeing some of the teams start to get in shape. I'm impressed with Rowe's running game. They have, multiple running backs. Quarterback's a good athlete. They're doing a good job of utilizing their fly sweep and their misdirection. They've got a stable of backs, and you could tell it's just going to be a matter of time before the offensive lines and defensive lines kind of get in shape. And once those guys get in shape, on both sides, you're going to see some better football here in the next couple of weeks.
285 yards on the ground and counting. We're visiting with Gilbert Leal. I'll wrap this up with a final question and kind of a little insight for fans who are starting to ask a lot of questions. Another run this time by Yamas. But Coach, as we make a transition and the winter sports overlap into fully enveloped into this fall sports with basketball, what protocols, what can fans expecting to come to basketball games, and more importantly, how are you scheduling volleyball teams still playing on the same nights as basketball teams are playing? What can fans expect, and when they're coming to a game, how do they get there?
It's been a question that all the athletic directors across the state are dealing with, especially here in the Rio Grande Valley. We did have our fall sports in volleyball and football get pushed back a month, which and the UIL kept our phase 2 sports of boys and girls basketball and soccer in place. So that lap over is happening. So thank goodness for us that that basketball district really doesn't really get going until after Christmas. We try to make some adjustments with our sub-varsity and push back the start dates for for volleyball and also for football to allow those kids to have a chance to go back and get in shape for basketball and of course for soccer. So it's been definitely a challenge this year, and so the safety protocols that we're discussing right now in basketball. We're having discussions on whether we're going to use masks with basketball or not. We did have masks 100% on with volleyball, which was a trend that was moving across the state. It's going to be very challenging in basketball with boys basketball, the way that the run and gun games are. But those are things that we're trying to iron out now here while it's still preseason. So it's definitely a work in progress, and there's lots of communication statewide with our association, with the ADs, and of course our coaches in the Rio Grande Valley. So it's one of those things where it's hard to believe that we're a couple of weeks away from Thanksgiving and we're just right in the middle of football and district. So
yes.
So it's going to be a challenge. Our basketball coaches are thank goodness that they're supportive of the opportunities that our kids have to compete. So they know that that volleyball's in play right now. And so we're finding ways to be able to get those teams practiced up a little bit while still allowing volleyball to finish up, because those races are coming to an end here pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're coming up. The playoffs are, and again, I've heard scheduling nightmares such as potential games, basketball games at 2 and 5 o'clock, and then a volleyball game to wrap up the night. But potentially 3 games in the gym, but moving fans in, moving fans out.
Yes.
That's all going in play.
Every school district has their own protocols. What we've tried to do here at the end of the day in BISD is that we want to allow the parents that have an opportunity to be able to watch their child. So we're not charging in our athletic events other than varsity football for any of our other sports. So volleyball, 2 parents are coming free of charge. A lot of the school districts have taken that approach, and right now we're just trying to make sure that we can get our games played safely in an environment until we see our health conditions improve a little bit.
Coach, thanks for the visit.
Thank you, John.
Gilbert Leal, athletic director of BISD. And we could talk all night. I could ask him a ton of questions, and then if I really wanted to get into color commentary, I'd say, Coach, put that headset on and let's break this game down, and he would do that in a heartbeat. So I appreciate him. Kevin Narro makes his way back down here. This running game by the Rowe Warriors hasn't generated any more points, Kevin, but what it has done is taken time off the clock, and the Warriors have a lead, but the Chargers just get a big-time stop. And you're looking at a team with 300-plus yards on the ground by the Warriors, and yet Chargers down by 1 score and an extra point away from going up.
Right, yeah. And they're an extra point away from taking the lead, too. So, a lot has happened in these last couple minutes here, and now can Montelongo dig back and reach back for that little extra and put a drive together? There's still plenty of time on the clock, 9.5 minutes to go, but this is a big drive here for Brownsville veterans, because now you're starting to count how many drives you may have left.
One thing we really haven't seen is that as the Chargers put together a sustained drive with any long field possession and yardage racked up. They've just got 144 yards of total offense here tonight in this ball game. That touchdown came on a special teams play on a block punt. In reality, a couple of special teams play with a couple of field goals. That's how they've got the points on the scoreboard. 8:58 left here in the ball game. Montelongo on a 2nd down and 8 for the Chargers. Josh back to throw, a little screen pass set up, but that is blown up by the Warriors. Diego Pacheco right there.
Yeah, Diego Pacheco, he's having himself a ball game, both defensively and offensively. He comes up with a big play there, and you're faced with a 3rd and 8.
Montelongo back at 3rd and 11 now as they'll make a loss on the play. Montelongo now 5 of 11 for 61 yards in the game. You're looking for receivers. He's hit 4 different receivers in the game. McHale, Bentoncourt, Fernandez, Moreno, all with 1 catch apiece. Now the whistle blows. Timeout is called with 8:13 left in the ball game. Kevin, the visit with Gilbert Leal. one thing for certain that is taking place, we're good at what we do, Rio Sports Live, in covering games. But to be faced with the schedule conflict that's about to hit us, volleyball, basketball, soccer, and football all going on at the same time, throw in swimming, I would need to hire 150 more people and buy more equipment than I could ever dream of owning in order to cover everything that's in play. So kudos to you and Mark for scheduling it, but you know the nightmare is just beginning.
Yeah.
It always does with the transition period between fall and winter when you got playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, we got regular season, we got playoffs,
Right.
we've got, you know, a lot in play, but from an athletic director's perspective, can you imagine setting the spreadsheet that they have to deal with at a BISD where you're dealing with multiple schools?
I don't want to, because I've seen what some of those spreadsheets look like, and you're just talking about, you know, not only your schools, but the teams you have to play. I'll talk about it after this play.
Third down play. This is a big one for the Chargers. Montelago needs 11. Delivers a pass, and incomplete off the hands of Nathan Fernandez.
Flag did come in from the secondary.
That may be a defensive penalty. Yeah, the thing of it is, it's a hold against the Chargers. So,
you know, the scheduling thing has been crazy, but one thing that I've talked with coaches is how this domino effect of teams going into quarantine, and we're starting to see how Mission veterans had to go into quarantine because they just played Edinburgh Vela. Edinburgh Vela had 3 kids test positive. Mission veterans then had to follow the protocol. Then they had to go into quarantine. Then their game, you know, the following week affects them and who they're
snap,
playing.
punter gets to it. That's partially blocked. Live football recovered by the Chargers, and that ball was stopped at the 30-yard line, and the Rowe Warriors special teams makes a play.
So that's the frustrating part, is that because this team got it, now you have to test, and then it affects that next week. So it essentially affects 3 teams when you're looking at it in that stretch of a couple of weeks. But, you know, the scheduling part about it is going to be frustrating. I've done my best to, hey, coach, keep me in the loop, keep me in the loop, keep me in the loop. But, hey, I'm all for a triple header when we're talking about volleyball at 3, a boys game at 4, and a girl. I'm for the triple header.
Me too. Schedule a crew, get there, and just hang out.
Let's do it. I'm all for that. But just get us the schedules.
Yeah.
Get us the schedules, and we'll take care of the rest from there. And then the coaches have done a very good job on keeping us in the loop with these schedules. But the frustrating thing is that, you know, they're struggling to get them themselves.
Yes.
And then they're trying to find a game, you know.
I know coaches have other coaches on speed dial when
absolutely
Monday, Tuesday, and they're in fear of we may have a game canceled, but I'm going to see if I can line somebody else to play. I know that's going on a lot.
And you know, right now, you know, Edinburgh High needs a football game for Friday. Raymondville is openly looking for a football game for Friday night within the
Valley. A nice mix-up right there.
I text JJ Leal. I said, hey, Raymondville needs a football game. I'll throw that out there. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, no secret. These teams need games.
Third down play. Meehan in the secondary. There's a penalty on the flag. If it's against the Chargers, it's 6 points on the board for the Warriors.
It might be coming back. We're going to have to just wait and see.
That's in the vicinity of a hold.
Right.
You see that flag? Yep.
Yeah, more of a tackle along that offensive line. But, oh, boy, yeah. I mean, the football schedule's just been juggling back and forth. I know Mission had to go into a bye week, not because of the COVID protocol, but because they didn't have an opponent. Edinburgh High was going to play Edinburgh Vela Friday night, but Vela's in quarantine, so Edinburgh High has to step aside and wait. And then you get into a position where you were at last week with PSG North and Edinburgh North, where PSG North wanted to play because they didn't want to miss another week.
Third down play for the Warriors. Quarterback running for his life. Gomez delivers a pass, tipped
Almost
and incomplete.
PSG North wanted to play a football game. They needed that extra game. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Edinburgh North did not want to play because it was not a zone game. It was essentially a meaningless game, filling in the gap between now and when they play those zone games. Because if you're Edinburgh North side, you're like, well, I'd rather just not play and take the bye week and go into my zone games healthy.
And,
so
and,
it's
and
two
without
separate,
having to be quarantined because of somebody else.
Right, and meanwhile, PSJ North is like, well, we need games. We need to get on that football field. We can't go into our zone games not having any warm-up reps. So that's the frustrating part when you're trying to find people on the same page.
4th down play for the Warriors, and they'll burn a timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it right here. So the bottom line for fans out there on Rio Sports Live who are watching, we are going to do an all-out push towards covering as many home games of the schools that we're covering. But it's simple numbers. There are multiple schools, multiple games, and multiple sports going on at the same time. And what I was hoping was the basketball schedules would go to a Monday, Wednesday deal, and maybe if Saturday volleyball is playing in the morning, well, maybe Saturday afternoon. But that didn't happen.
At least, well, I was gonna say at least for the first round, but I'm not even sure. I haven't seen the basketball schedules if they're playing just one round.
No, it's
2 rounds.
Most coaches are getting 27 game schedules put together.
Okay.
Brian Molina said that he was given the green light on every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, and so he lined them up from start to finish, from when the season began to it ends, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. And he's got a full schedule. Same thing with Nathaniel Garza of San Perlita, with the discussion I had with him. Other coaches, such as coaches in Port Isabel, that district decided to push back basketball season 4 weeks.
It's 4th down.
4th down play for the Warriors. Pass play over the middle, incomplete, and the Chargers get a stop. And more importantly, Kevin, they get the ball at the 30-yard line with 6:45 left in this game.
Yeah, the defense, again, bend but don't break. They come up with another stop. The clock stops. You have plenty of time. And you got 3 timeouts in your back pocket if you're David Cantu. Let's go out and win this one. That's what you're telling your quarterback, Montelongo. So either way you slice it, we're gearing up to a really good finish. And again, in baseball, you start counting your outs in the 7th, 8th inning. Here, you're starting to count possessions. You have this one and maybe one more possession in your back pocket. So kind of running out of outs here.
First down play for Montelongo and the Chargers. They need some big play. They need something to stretch the field. They haven't had that yet. Biggest play from scrimmage, a 37-yard pass completion. They'll look to run the ball on a jet sweep. Take it out across the 30, 35-yard line, upended and literally carried backwards. Ended up gaining 9 yards on the play.
You talk about being patient. Montelongo was as patient as ever, waiting for that play to develop. That's how you want to start this drive if you are a Chargers fan. Just look at him patiently, waiting, sees the hole, and bang.
Gain 9, 2nd and 1 coming up. 6:14 and counting here in the ball game. Chargers down by 6. Montelongo on a 2nd down play. Looks to throw, has time, delivers the ball over the middle of the field, caught! Big play time for the Chargers. 30-yard line, block delivered, 20, 15, 10-yard line, 5, 1-yard line. 1st and goal coming up.
What a play by Brownsville veterans. Montelongo again, standing tall in the pocket, had time to throw, delivered a dime. How about that?
That was Montelongo making the catch.
How about that? I'll say one Montelongo to another, but wait a second, that's the quarterback back there.
Montelongo catching it. We're going to go back to the replay in a minute and see if we can catch who threw the ball.
We may have time.
Let's keep it here on the 1st and goal. Chargers have been here before and been held out. This Warrior defense can get stingy. Montelongo will keep it, running it up the middle, surge forward, end zone, touchdown, Marlon Montelongo.
What a turn of events.
I said they needed a big play from scrimmage, and they got it. Penalty on the play, but that's against the defense. So Montelongo on a 67-yard reception, and then he carries it in the end zone on the ground. And Brownsville veteran has tied it up with a chance now to take the lead with 5:41 left in this ball game. Kicker's been letter perfect. Snap is back. Kick is away. A line drive, and it is just good.
I was going to say.
21-20. I almost jinxed that.
You almost jinxed him. That was a high snap. They were able to corral it and get that extra point through. And you know what a gutsy effort from this Chargers football team.
Kickoff coming up. We'll be right back.
Frozen baits caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel, drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats, Laguna Madre Baits. 828 Westport Drive, Fort Mansfield, Texas.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
Back here at Brownsville Sam Stadium, we found out who threw that pass. Kevin, a sophomore.
Yeah, Reese Sampaio.
Delivered that pass for the Chargers of Brownsville veterans. They're up. Warriors on the kick return. Let it bounce. Take it across the 15. Spinning to the 20. Meehan hit right down he goes. Now the Warriors have done most of their damage on the ground. 310 yards, as a matter of fact, of 364 total yards gained. You can start a drive here, Kevin. You can do it on the ground. 5:36. But if you don't score on this particular drive, you suddenly put yourself fighting an opponent and fighting a clock at the same time.
Right, and you only have one timeout left, so you do 5:36 left. You have enough time to do what you've been doing all night, and that's run the football.
You don't have to pass it.
And you only need 3. You only need a field goal.
Meehan on a carry, gets it out across the 27-yard line. And it's not even hurry-up offense time just yet.
No, not yet. And again, you have that one timeout in your back pocket. The clock is your friend right now, so you can just ease your way down the field.
2nd and 5. They're averaging better than 8 yards per carry on the ground for the Rowe Warriors. Yamas, the quarterback, will rumble forward. Stays on his feet, got near first down yardage as he gets out of bounds.
Might be a yard or a half a yard shy. We'll see where they...
I think what I like most about what I'm seeing, it is a first down. What I'm liking most about this Rowe team is these backs are continuing, quarterbacks and the 5 tailbacks that have touched the ball, churning their legs forward, always moving, and then those linemen are out in front of them, pushing the surge on nearly every play. Pacheco in motion, they'll keep it up the middle. Meehan, that's going to be Lopez this time for 9 yards on that carry.
At 4:36, you're getting those gash runs that you were getting. They've been there all night.
Look
really.
at Lopez, man, that's just dead on taking on the tackler. 2nd and 1 coming up for the Warriors. Clock running with 4:22 left. Yamas hit, but look how the surge gets him back up to the line of scrimmage and nearly got a first down. He did.
Yeah, they're gonna move the chains.
He was hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was looking up at the scoreboard. They gave him that spot, so 4:05 left in this one, and again, the clock is your friend. So right now,
from their own 42, Yamas hands it off. This time a hard hit. Helmet comes flying off of there. Hello, as George Alvarado, the junior linebacker, gets in the play.
Yeah, he got up really quick, and unfortunately, when you lose your helmet, you have to come out for at least a play. But he was there to greet him. 2nd and 10 now.
Shut that down after a very short gain. They did mark it a little bit forward. Yamas on 2nd down for the Warriors. Sends a man in motion. That's Alvarado. He'll look to throw. Delivers a ball, middle of the field, caught big play for the Warriors, reeling in that catch.
Wow.
Jorge Diaz.
Well, when they go to the air, it works on the play action. That's just a heck of a catch right there.
3:13 left here in the ball game. Meehan now on a carry. Makes this a red zone opportunity as he rumbles forward.
So now you're in a spot where, you only need 3. There's 3 minutes left in this game. They still have that one timeout at their disposal, and on the flip side, BVM still has all 3.
So when do you start thinking about using them if you're Brownsville veterans?
There's no 2-minute warning either.
Meehan on a carry, takes it inside the 10, down to the 5. First and goal coming up for the Warriors as Meehan rattles off another 14 yards.
You're in that funny territory now, is where if you score too early, you give them enough time. I think him not scoring there may have been the best thing there for McAllen Rowe, because then you give BVM the ball back.
2:32 to go. Handoff to Meehan. Takes on a tackler. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Rowe Warriors. Nicholas Meehan to the house.
Back and forth we go, and checking out the replay there.
Fourth rushing touchdown of the night for the Rowe Warriors. Meehan, the first time he's in the end zone. 20 carries, 134 yards. They haven't put the points on the board yet, Kevin.
I've noticed that they do it after the extra
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going to go for 2
They're
here.
lining up for a 2-point conversion. They'll look to the sideline. They'll burn a timeout, which will be their final timeout of the ball game.
Yeah, because the touchdown here.
Right now they're up 5.
Yeah, they would need the 2-point to go by a touchdown. Either way you slice it, Veterans is still going to need a touchdown. But now 2:26 left, all 3 timeouts left. You just went down the field and scored a touchdown. You can bet that there's plenty of confidence on that BVM sideline.
Rowe Warriors responded. 358 yards on the ground, just 89 through the air, but a big 35-yard pass completion on the drive that resulted in this touchdown. Was a definite difference maker in how this drive played out. Now for a 2-point conversion with a complete spread offense. Yama stays in at quarterback. Drops back to throw, gonna run, right-hand side, chase, they won't catch him. 2-point conversion is good. Warriors go up 7, 28-21, 2:26 left, and this is a replay we're seeing here.
Yes.
Watch as Yamas uses the blocks. He hesitated just long enough, as you'll see. He needed one seal block right there.
It's just a simple quarterback draw.
And so now the Rowe Warriors up 7 will kick off. Chargers will get the ball with 2:26 left and 3 timeouts remaining. So you look at that from all aspects and say, plenty of time, plenty of chances to stop the clock.
3 timeouts.
Can you generate some magic?
My question is, we've seen David Cantu in 2015, down by 1, go for 2 against West Lacois in a playoff game for the win when he passed on tying the game. Do you go for 2? You score a touchdown? Do you go for the win?
Warriors will kick it short. Field at the 25 for the Chargers, down the 35, out across the 40, the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. Great field position on a return by Angel Ramirez. 2:21 left in this ball game, and you just get the feeling, Kevin.
Yeah, they're gonna have.
We haven't seen the last score of this ball game.
Yeah, I don't think so, and they're gonna have great starting field position. Ball's gonna be right around midfield at the 48-yard line.
Reese Sampaio was able to deliver that pass Marlon Montalongo, he's not in the ball game right now. Montalongo in to take the snap. 2 receivers right side, single receiver to the left. Rolls to the short side of the field, looking for a block. Got it. Sideline, steps out of bounds at the 45 of the Warriors. 6-yard gain for Montalongo, and just like we talked about the Warriors, you don't have to get it all in one play, Kevin.
Right.
2:16 left, 3 timeouts left. You can be patient.
Right, and Montalongo, that's just a veteran move right there. Just simply picking up the yardage, knowing where the sticks are at. He's 2 yards short, but he went out of bounds. Save yourself a timeout. They have all 3.
19 carries for 57 yards on the ground for Montalongo. 2nd down and short for the Chargers. They'll run it. That's blown up, and a loss on the play on a carry by Jose Moreno.
Yeah, Mario Guerra read that play to perfection right there.
That makes it 3rd and 5 as we go under 2 minutes left. There is no 2-minute warning in high school football. Third and 5 for the Chargers. Montalongo on a long count, takes it, rolls out left side, going to run, looking for a block. He's going to run out of room and be driven out of bounds. That's short of 1st down yardage. And the biggest play thus far in this ball game coming up for the Chargers. They didn't have to use a timeout as he went out of bounds, but still 4th down, Kevin. Do you dare? Well, you have to go for it here. You don't dare punt the ball knowing you have 3 timeouts
Yeah,
left.
no, you have to punt here.
Punt?
Yeah. No, you don't punt here.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. 4th and 4. Need to get to the 42 to get a 1st down. Timeout call, Brownsville veterans. Need to make sure they get a 1st down.
Now
Kevin.
you have to get the 1st down here when you call that timeout.
Minute 40 left here in the ball game. You would like to have seen a play run there.
And if you don't get it, you have all 3 timeouts. Now you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket right here. But it's 4th and 4, and I'm not sure about that last 3rd down play. It was the same design run to the left.
To the short side of the field.
To the short side of the field, and that had been their bread and butter all night. McAllen Rowe was just ready for it on that last play.
Chargers again with just 236 yards of offense here tonight. 67 of that came on 1 play.
Again, this should have been a district game. It's a lot of fun. And again, for both these programs, this is the first time they square off against each other. Starting off on a good note, I'd say. And I mean, who knows if the chips may, if everything falls the way it may, this could be a matchup somewhere down the road with this East and West type deal.
Could be those playoff deciding position games.
Right.
We'll call those.
You know, and this is a little taste of what this district can be, and it was everything I hoped it could be when that district realignment came out, welcoming the 3 McAllens into the Class 5A level.
1st down marker is the 42 of the Warriors. Montalongo will take this snap. Ball spotted on the line of scrimmage at the 46. Needing 4, looks to throw, delivers a ball, short, underthrown, and incomplete. The Rowe Warriors get a stop. Minute 35 left in the game.
And McAllen Rowe comes up with a big stop there defensively. Now Brownsville veterans with 2 timeouts in their back pocket, a minute 35. They're going to need a quick stop defensively, but now this is where that 3rd timeout kind of hurts just a little bit.
It's also where that 7.8 yards per carry average for the Rowe Warriors comes into play. And it's not like you didn't know they were going to run the ball for most of this game. You've been trying to stop them. The Brownsville Veterans Chargers, A, need a turnover if they can get that, but B, need a stop against a team that has been dominating on the running game. Yamas carries it to the 50, gain 3. Timeout call. Minute 30 left.
Now you can hope for a 3 and out, maybe get a couple of seconds left on the clock, or you can come up with a turnover.
That's the only thing about the running game is that you do put into at least the mix an opportunity for someone to punch the ball out of the running back's hands. That was actually a 4-yard gain for Mateo Yamas. He's got 9 carries for 50 yards. Let's just run down the ball carriers tonight. 9 carries for 50 yards for Yamas. The other quarterback, James Gomez, 3 carries for 26 yards. Then you're looking at Lorenzo Lopez with 10 carries for 70 yards. 4 carries for 78 yards for Diego Pacheco. And the leading ground gainer tonight, 20 carries, 134 yards for Nicholas Meehan. 362 rushing yards for the Rowe Warriors in this contest. That all spells with a 7-point lead and a minute 30 left. A lot of things in favor for the Rowe Warriors. Yamas on second down, sends a man in motion. Here's Meehan on a carry, and he'll get a first down out across the 42-yard line. They'll blow the play dead. They did not bring him down. Kevin, they may seal the deal.
Yeah, I think that does it because now you just have, you have one timeout left. That's going to do it. You know, the defense for McAllen Rowe stepping up on that last 4th and 4 there, coming up with a big play and a good stop.
I'm going to give our player of the game to Nicholas Meehan. 21 carries, 149 yards, and a touchdown. Why not, right?
Yeah, he ran for 134 last week, and he eclipsed the century mark again here tonight. So I'm really impressed with this rushing attack from McAllen Rowe, and it's something that, at least in the time when I covered Coach Bobby Flores, I knew he was a guy who would like to throw it around, but they put together a heck of a rushing attack here this evening. And, you know, McAllen Rowe is a team that, you know, again, they lost a couple shootouts against Pioneer, Eddie Lee Marburger, top quarterback in the Valley. Then they lose against Sherryland by a touchdown. They were putting up the points. They were in these football games. This is going to be a good win, number 1 in the feather of Coach Flores' hat. And again, a program that was just on the brink of getting to that next stage, and they did it last year. They won a playoff game, and you know, this was a hard-earned win for this Rowe team. And for Brownsville Veterans on the flip side, you know, you fall to 1-2. Much better effort tonight. You know, they lost 10-7 last week against Porter. I really liked what I saw with Montelongo here tonight.
Warriors take a knee, and they'll take a victory. They win it 28-21 in what you could call come from behind fashion. They had to get a late score to separate and win this ball game. Our player of the game, Nicholas Meehan, and we're going to wrap it up because I know they'll run off the field and be gone, Kevin. So
right.
Final thoughts? Any?
Well, when the games are good at Sam's, they're good.
And this was a good one.
This was a treat. This was a special Wednesday night treat. First time these two meeting in program history. It was fun.
Rowe Warriors get the win. That's Kevin Narro. I'm Joe Bowling. We'll sign off so we can run things like highlights for you and also get some post-game information. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Watch the replay. And stay with us on Rio Sports Live. Good night.